unmuted, please put them on mute so that we don't get some background noise. So it's 10 past 10 and we can start. So like I said earlier on, good morning everyone, and a happy new year to everyone. So we're going to be having a very interesting session today. I must tell you it's going to be very interesting, very interactive. And I would just like that everyone is connected throughout and engaged with us throughout today's session. What are we going to be covering in today's session? We would speak a bit about the ACCA journey and how Ivyleague can support you in this journey. Then some of our products like the Oxford Brookes University BS in Applied Accounting program, we're going to be talking about it. The Diploma in IFRS Qualification, we're going to be talking about it. Also, we have two keynote speakers, very, very interesting, with a lot of insights and very experienced finance professionals will be speaking to us and sharing their views on the value of the qualification and also some tips around emotional intelligence in dealing with pressures associated with studying for the ACCA exam. We'd also get the views from the ACCA Nigeria leadership team. So the head of ACCA Nigeria will be with us very soon on the call. And also the head of learning would also share his views with us on the call as well. And then we would share other tips on how Ivyleague can be a reliable partner throughout this journey. And then we'll end with question and answer. So if you've got any question at all around the ACCA qualification, please feel free to note them down. And when we get to the Q&A, we'll be happy to take them. So in terms of opening remark, at this point, I would just like to call on one of the directors of the school, just a brief opening remarks and, welcome. So just to confirm, if Shay is on the call, you want to just say a few words with us and then we start the session properly.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Jonathan. Thanks for coming to our open day. We have a loaded day or presentation today, so it's just good to get right to it. So Joe, over to you, please.
Fantastic. Many thanks. So who are we at Ivyleague and what has our journey been? It's always refreshing to share this story with everyone who comes in contact with us. And just a bit of context, if you look at the slide we have here, this speaks to our journey. So when I started earlier on, I did say we're in our 10th year of operation, and I explained that. So we started in 2012 by offering free revision programs for the ACCA exam, which was one of the novel things that was happening in the market at then. And we commenced commercially in 2013 and started taking in students in 2013. And ever since then, we've had a remarkable journey that we're always proud to share with all stakeholders, when it comes to ACCA qualification. So just a bit of numbers that I want to share with us. Since we started in 2013, we've trained over 7,000 students and more. The results are going to be out by next week, Monday. And we believe we're going to see an increased number of students, also added to this list. We are also the leader in ACCA tuition, not just in Nigeria, across West Africa and even Sub-Saharan Africa. And when you look through the journey, which I would highlight, you would be able to understand why we are the undisputed leader in ACCA tuition. We're also an employer's choice. One of the things we are proud about as a school is most of our students are, students who are employees of most ACCA approved employers, and also, most first choice employers for quite a lot of finance professionals. We're also proud about our tutor and the faculty at large. We like to say we have a combined teaching experience of over 250 years. I personally, always try to make sure we understand this is teaching experience. Then if we bring in, professional expertise and add the number of years of experience, this is well over 1,500. Above all, we are driven by our purpose, and our purpose is to promote economic empowerment and societal growth through professional education. I think the bigger picture is this is our way of contributing to a better society, by offering quality professional education. And I'll speak to quite a number of educational offerings that we have as a school, and we also provide to our students. So if you look at the signpost I have on the slide, we commenced in 2013, and in 2015, we became an approved learning partner gold status, very significant for us. And in 2017, we became an approved learning partner platinum status. A bit of context, this is the highest rating that any learning partner can be designated, for as long as we provide ACCA tuition. So we currently stand toe to toe, shoulder to shoulder with the very best you can find anywhere in the world. So we are proud to say you all are, within the confines of, the platinum rated approved learning partner. So just to put that out there. Something interesting did happen. We always had this conversation while we started our journey in 2013 that would like to provide a lot of finance qualification. And one of such, which is also a very prestigious finance qualification, is the CFA qualification. This was largely part of the things we always wanted to do from day one. And we are proud to say in 2020, just in the middle of the pandemic, we commenced our CFA classes. Also in 2020, we commenced our online classes. So one of the things we now offer is a complement. So those who want to attend classes for selected papers at our facility at Yaba can do that. While for every program we offer in the school, we have an online variant. So you can attend lectures from anywhere in the world, and join us for lectures. So I'll speak a bit about our ACCA journey, or just to confirm, you want to go with this?
Yeah, I'm fine. I can
All right,
go with
okay.
that.
All right, that's fine.
Next slide, please. So thank you, Jonathan. So pretty much this is our ACCA Open Day, and so we're talking about the journey end to end regarding ACCA, and we typically see this from 3 E's. The exams that students have to write, the ethics module that you have to complete, and the experience that is required. So in terms of the exams, there are various entry routes, that students can actually use to start ACCA. The typical one is the students that have BSc or the foundations route, where we are looking at students who, for example, have their WAEC results, including maths and English. The beauty of this is that we've had students that pretty much started their ACCA journey at the age of 16. And that's because they already have their WAEC results, and so they registered for the Foundation in Accountancy modules. Those are 3 modules. On completion, students will be exempted from the applied knowledge module or level of ACCA, and will pretty much move to the applied skills. Alternatively, if you have a BSc in a non-accounting related field or finance, it's likely that you will have to start from the applied knowledge module. Now, some of these rules sometimes vary depending on the institution, the course that you have studied. And so we always advise that if you need any guidance on the exemption you are likely to get, you can always talk to our admin team, and they are willing to help. The applied skills level, which pretty much is the intermediate or the mid level within the ACCA exam structure has about 6 papers that students would have to write and pass unless you are exempted from a few of those. And on completion of that level, students will earn a diploma in accounting and business, and you will also have the chance to earn a BSc in applied accounting from Oxford Brookes University. Uh, our OBU lead mentor is going to talk to us today, pretty much giving us a high level overview of what's required to earn the BSc, pending when the open day for that will happen. Now, what we typically advise is that once you are done with the applied skills, you should take your ethics and professional skills module, which is the EPSM. So this is pretty much a tool, an online learning developed by ACCA to enable students, members, affiliates, demonstrate that you have a certain professional and ethical skills that is required in your professional life and at the workplace. It is not an examination, even though you would have an assessment at the end of it, which you would have to pass. It is paid for. I think it's about 65 or 60 pounds if the price has not changed. And, there are different sections in it which you would have to go through. It's a very interesting model reflecting a lot of real life scenarios and will definitely help you with your strategic professional papers, particularly papers like SBL, audit and assurance and the rest. So it's always advised that you should do it. Now, if you're doing your strategic professional level papers now and you've not done the EPSM, then it's a good time to register for it and get it completed. You should budget an average of about 15 hours thereabout for it, and you can always, take it on from wherever you stopped till you complete it. The final level of the ACCA qualification is the strategic professional level. You've got the essentials and the optional papers. So 2 essential papers that all students are required to take, and you're allowed to choose any 2 from the 4 optional papers. Sorry, I think someone is not muted, Lara. So yeah, to take now, one of the things we advise, and typically we would ask you to also seek the advice of your tutors or the course leaders, or maybe even attend the initial class where introductions will be done about each of these optional papers. You should take optional papers that you, one, believe you will pass, relevant to your past knowledge, areas of interest, or areas you would like to focus on in the future, and things like that. So that should guide you in determining which optional papers that you should take. Okay. Now, on completion of the strategic professional level, there's a world of opportunities in terms of further qualifications that you can decide to earn. For example, you can earn the MSc in Professional Accountancy from the University of London by, writing a few modules and maybe a project as well, which definitely is a reputable school, in the UK. We also have several other schools, across the UK that gives students exemptions for from certain modules, particularly related to MSc in finance or MSc in accounting, more like MSc in finance, because normally I advise that if you're a chartered accountant, I see no reason why you're doing MSc in accounting unless you love to be an academia. Now, so you can also consider these options. So they may give you 2, 3, 4 exemptions from certain modules.
Sorry, we can't hear again.
Wow, okay, looks like someone muted me. I'm not sure what the last thing you heard was.
When you said they'll give us, to get the MSc, they'll give us certain exemptions.
Yeah, okay. So I was saying that aside University of London, there are other schools in the UK as well that gives exemptions or exemptions from certain modules for their MSc Finance. So you can complete the Masters in Finance, leveraging the knowledge that you have already gained from ACCA and within a shorter period of time, and by extension, lesser fees, of course. So you have schools like Edinburgh University, Business School, you have schools like York University and several of other schools as well that offer such incentives for ACCA members. Now, I was then saying that beyond that, to earn the ACCA designation, you also have to demonstrate that you have earned 36 months work experience in relevant roles. Now, this 36 months work experience will be demonstrated via certain performance objectives. So there are 5 compulsory performance objectives, and there are 4 optional objectives that you can select out of several options that are available depending on the industry where you work. So if you're in consulting, for example, or you're in audit, or you're in tax in your workplace, or you're even in internal control function within your organization, you know, or even in the digital space as well. You can always identify performance objectives that clearly reflect the competencies that you have achieved, you know, within that area, and obtain the necessary sign-off from your workplace mentor. So we have a full video recorded training on how to go about the recording, banking your experience, and the modalities around that. So if you need that, please reach out to the admin team. They will be happy to make the training video available to you. Overall, I think that's it regarding the 3 E's, the exams, the ethics model, and the experience. So before our first keynote speaker, we are going to check if you've got questions. So if you have any questions, you can raise your hand. We're going to take them before the first keynote speaker, and then the next set of questions will be at the end of the session today. Thank you, Jonathan.
Fantastic. That was very, very insightful. And, you know, just speaking through the 3 E's and how that, you know, sort of typifies the journey for most of us. And also, it's important to note that if you've got questions, we are happy. In fact, we have a dedicated slot for Q&As. But if you've got questions you want to put out now, based on, you know, the presentation that was shared now, you can actually signify. If you raise your hand, I'm able to see that, I acknowledge you, or you could even type on the chat box as well, and we are able to pick that up. So let me just check and confirm if we have any of such.
Jonathan, I can help you track that from here, don't worry.
Okay, please. Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, so we have Eddie Diong. Eddie Diong, go ahead, please.
Okay, yes, good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for the insightful presentation. I do have a question. So right now I am at the professional level, and I'd like to know, is there like a preferred way you could take the exams? Are there certain combinations you have to take together, or you could take anyone depending on like how the study timetable fits in with your schedule? I wanted to know that.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So I'll take that. Inezi, you can go ahead.
Hi, good morning, Shay, and thank you everyone for the presentation. I wrote my last exam in March 2018, and I have been deregistered. Let's just know how I can come back in.
All right. Okay, so let me just take those two. So for the first question regarding paper combination at the professional level, yes, there are better paper combinations than others, and you should endeavor to consider that, even though you have the flexibility that you want. So for example, APM, SBL are papers that are to some extent, clearly correlated. And so we often see that some students either want to take them together or, select APM, knowing that the knowledge from SBL may as well help. Another very important one is SBR and AAA, Advanced Audit and Assurance. So I teach Advanced Audit and Assurance, for example, and I normally advise that students taking that paper should have either passed SBR or are also taking SBR, together with AAA. So I think it is inappropriate for a student to take AAA haven't only passed or been exempted from financial reporting at the skills level, but not yet attempted or not ready to attempt SBR. So that's that. Then obviously, you've got to also look at how well did I do at the skills level in terms of those skills level papers. So for example, did you do very well with financial management? Are you looking to build a career in finance and related fields, investment banking, asset management, and the rest? If so, then AFM should be a paper that you should, consider taking in that regard. Are you an auditor, or you like audit, or you did very well in AA, or you would like to be an auditor, or you want to strengthen your financial reporting knowledge and application, then advanced audit and assurance would actually be a good one. So other than checking the exam timetable, and those examples I've given, for example, SBR and AA, I think pretty much most of the other choices, there are flexible options available to you. So the next question was, you were deregistered, you want to come back, how do you go about it? I think you should talk to the admin team. So towards the end of the presentation, the school manager will be talking to us, on the processes around registration and all of that. And his details would also be available. So he will be happy to guide you on getting back as a registered student. Ivyleague, go ahead, please. Someone is this.
All right. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thanks,
Yes,
Jay, for the presentation. All right. So I'm currently a student of Obafemi Awolowo University. Studying accounting. I'm in my final year now, and I want to start my ACCA journey. And I heard you get exemptions, and so I want to know about that and what exams can I write this year. Yeah.
All right. So Olumide, are you on the call? Can you take that? Is manager on the call? Okay, looks like it's not. Okay.
No, I was thinking we should batch this, because there are quite a lot of these similar questions. If we can just
Okay, all right, that's fine.
patch them.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so Ivyleague, we'll take it towards the end, you know, when we get to registration and all those things. So we have a section for that. Okay, so Tomori, go ahead.
All right. Good morning. Good morning to everyone. So currently I just completed my BSc University of Lagos Administration. So I just wanted to ask and know more about the ACCA curriculum and like everything, because you said something that if you have ACCA certificate from other like university, from other professional exams, and other university, and also hello. Hello. Hello.
All right, Tomori. Sorry, Tomori. We need to park Q&A to the end, because most of the questions that are being asked are things we are still going to take. Okay, so that.
All right. Okay.
Yes, so that we are not, you know, taking too much time. All right, so Jonathan, please go ahead.
All right, fantastic. So we're going to take a lot of the questions again, once again, when we get to the Q&A session. So I think at this point is time for us to call our first keynote speaker, a very seasoned finance professional at that. So we've got here at Ivyleague, Mrs. Miriam Abisola Adefarati, who is an FCCA. We're also proud to say we have someone who is a member of the ACCA Global Council who will be speaking to us as well. So a bit about the keynote speaker. Mrs. Abisola is a seasoned business leader with 20 years experience in finance, accounting, auditing, consulting, and project management. A former finance director for Coca-Cola Nigeria and Pernod Ricard Nigeria. Also former commercial finance controller for the West Africa area at the British American Tobacco, and was once formerly the head of tax and treasury for the West African area at the British American Tobacco. She has worked for 3 of the big 4 accounting firms, and is a very seasoned chartered accountant at that. She studied and worked in 2 continents, in Europe and Africa, over the last 20 years. She co-owns a not-for-profit foundation with her husband, and the foundation has impacted over 3,000 Nigerians over the last 3 years in the area of medical, educational support, and poverty alleviation. Ladies and gentlemen, it's with a lot of delight and pleasure that we introduce to us our keynote speaker, Mrs. Miriam Abisola Adefarati, who will be speaking on the value of the ACCA qualification and using our experience, you know, to sort of, you know, provide more insights into the value of the ACCA qualification. So just a confirmation if Mrs. Miriam is on the call.
Yes, I am.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, over to you.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Ivyleague, for this opportunity to share what I would say my personal story with, you know, current students and potential students of ACCA. I wish, you know, when I started, I got a chance to, you know, listen to some of the stories. You know, maybe it would have made my journey, you know, a bit less burdensome. I would leave the technical stuff to Sheyi, the experts, and the rest of the Ivyleague team. What I would try and do is share my personal story straight from my heart, you know, about how ACCA enriched not just my professional journey, actually, but also my personal life. And when I started to reflect on, you know, the story that I was going to share with you today, I think the question that kept on coming to my mind was, you know, how did that young girl who was in SS2 at the time, right? And then, you know, this day opened her diary and said, Daddy wants me to become an accountant, Daddy being God, rise to become the treasurer for British American Tobacco in Nigeria. How did she become the finance director for Pernod Ricard in Nigeria? How did that young girl, right, become the finance director for Coca-Cola in Nigeria? And I know that in that journey, there were a number of things that impacted me or helped me to succeed across that journey. So there's faith, of course, family support, perseverance, hard work, resilience, and all of the other things that I'm sure that a lot of us on this call already know about. But that story will be totally incomplete if I do not sort of emphasize the role that ACCA played in that journey, right? I would never, ever have achieved my dreams and even surpassed my dreams, because that young girl, would never have imagined the career that I finally had without the ACCA. So let me take you back a few years. So yes, I studied biz admin at the University of Lagos and graduated top of my class, which gave me an opportunity to work with Arthur Andersen in Nigeria. And then after 2 years, I decided that I was going to leave Nigeria because I just got a sense that I didn't want to have a local career in that sense. I knew that exposing myself to how things worked in a developed nation would enrich my career. And at that time, I don't even think we had, schools like Ivyleague in Nigeria. Like, Sheyi, please remind me. I don't think we did. And if you were writing ACCA exams at that time, you literally had to move to the UK, to study ACCA. Like it was a different world actually. I'm talking about 2002, when I started, and that's 20 years ago. So in my own wisdom, pursuing that dream that the young girl in secondary school had, I decided to move to the UK. And the UK felt like an obvious choice because my sister was living in the UK at the time, and my brother was also living and studying there. So I felt like, I'm going to be with family, I'm going to be studying, and it's going to be a great experience. So when I got to the UK, I started my ACCA. But unfortunately, a few months after I got to the UK, my sister won the American lottery, which meant that she had to move to the US to join her husband. My brother, in his wisdom, also decided that he was moving to Ireland. So here I was a few months into my ACCA journey in the UK and completely on my own. And I was really, really struggling. Paying for my ACCA exams, was a challenge. And I feel like even maybe some people on this call may be facing exactly that challenge. And I needed to get a job, to be able to support myself. Like there were days when even just affording a meal was a challenge for me at that time. But I somehow knew even then that, if I could just hang on to this ACCA, it will be my ticket to the career of my dreams. Something told me, I didn't have mentors telling me about ACCA at the time. I didn't know too much about the community at that time, and that time, we're just a few years into having mobile phones in Nigeria. I don't know if people remember that time, so things were really different at that time. But somewhere in my heart, I just felt, if you can just get this ACCA, Miriam, you can really turn your life around. So I wrote my first sets of exams, and whilst I was writing my exams, I was seriously in need of a job because I needed to pay for my ACCA. I needed to be able to afford food, pay my rent. It was that bad. And I kept applying to all kinds of companies in London. Like I went everywhere. And I'm sure that if anyone was tracking, I may have won, a Guinness Book of Records award for the highest number of rejections, ever received. It got so ridiculous that one of the recruiters responded and said, unfortunately, you did not get this job because you are overqualified. And I'm like, wow, I only have 2 years experience. Like, how can I be overqualified? But you know, that's how bad the rejection was. But guess what? Fast forward a few months after, I passed only 3 papers of ACCA. And finally, I could put on my resume, part qualified ACCA. You know, I could put that on my resume. And my life literally changed. I am not joking. It felt like magic. So now I had a new resume with my part qualified ACCA accountant, and the agency started calling. And that's how my career in London started. With that, only 3 papers. I hadn't, you know, nothing really changed much. I was still that same lady that they were writing a few months before that, you know. I was either too inexperienced or too experienced. But of course, now I had the ACCA stamp of just being part qualified on my resume, and you know, it just literally transformed everything. I started to get offers, and finally I got a job to work with an audit firm, not one of the big 4, but one of the audit firms that was supporting the public sector in the UK. So I got a chance to do audits with NHS organizations. And that's how literally my career began to blossom. With the job that I got, paying for my ACCA exams, you know, became like the easiest thing ever. I could pay my rent. I could do a lot of things that really felt like a burden to me at that time. Guess what? You know, maybe 1 year down the line in my ACCA, I'm at the train station, and then somebody just calls my name, and I'm thinking, who knows me in London, right? And then I turn back, and it's one of my friends from Nigeria, somebody that I had worked with when I was with Anderson in Nigeria. And he said, oh, I'm also in the UK now. What are you doing in the UK? Oh, I'm also studying ACCA. Oh, wow. You know, who's your tuition provider? We found out we were at different schools, but we made a commitment that we were going to stay in touch, and, you know, we were going to sort of support each other with our ACCA journey. This friend turns up in my house, maybe some days or weeks after. It's too far back now, so I don't remember the tiny details. And he comes with the man that I eventually get married to, my husband, who was also an ACCA student. And, you know, by virtue of the fact that we were all studying ACCA, it meant, you know, I was, I think, a few papers ahead of them, you know, and I decided I was going to support them with their journey. You know, we became close, and of course, you know, the rest is history. So through ACCA, you know, it also impacted my personal life, because it then introduced me to this network of friends living in the UK, Nigerians. You know, we all had similar hustles, trying to build our careers. And remember, I was this young lady who moved to the UK and then thought she was going to have family with her in the UK, but then my family moved out and I was all alone. But with ACCA, I now had a network that I was leveraging on. We were supporting each other, and we were all, you know, sort of advancing with our exams. Then I qualified, right? And after I qualified, I kept on getting job after job, you know, from one job of my dream to another job of my dream. And it almost felt like almost unbelievable. And at that time, I think, and this is so many years back, you know, I started to earn about 100 and something pounds a day in London. And I was still a young lady, single, and all of that. Then I heard that, oh, project management is like the in thing now in the UK, right? And I said, really, how much are they paying, you know, people who have this certification? It was Prince 2 at the time. And they said, oh, they earn so much money, like £250 a day. And at that time, I think I was earning like 150. So I said, oh, wow, I need to get Prince 2. I need to get Prince 2. Maybe I should even move, you know, away from this accounting so I can earn more money. So, and let me tell you, once you pass the ACCA, every other exam becomes easy for you or seamless. And why do I say so? With ACCA, you know, you're going to have to own your attention to detail skills. You're going to need to be resilient. You're going to need to work hard. And those are the things that you need to pass any exam anyway. So if you can hang in there and ensure that you successfully complete your ACCA, it opens up a lot of things to you. And those same skills that you use to pass your ACCA exams, you will need them even as a professional. Because what you will find as a professional is you would always go through tough times that would need you to dig in deep, okay, to be able to solve problems and to find solutions. So on the exams. So I did Prince 2, easy, passed at my first sitting, and I said, okay, let me try and get a job in project management. Guess what happened to me? ACCA showed up again to help me build that career. Because at that time, Morgan Stanley, which was my dream company, I never, coming from my background, I never ever imagined I would work for that company, right? But it was a dream company. I remember I would go through Canary Wharf in London, looking at all of these beautiful buildings and wondering, how do people get jobs with these companies? How does that even happen? Just dreaming, but never ever believing that I could get that opportunity. But Morgan Stanley was transitioning from UK GAAP to IFRS, and they needed a project manager. But guess what? They said, we don't want a project manager who is just a project manager. We want him to be an accountant, or him or her to be an accountant, okay? Because we want somebody who will be able to understand the language of the finance managers working on the project and will be able to support them seamlessly. So because I had ACCA again, and of course I had taken my Prince 2 exam, I got that job. And with that project, it was easy because with my ACCA, I had already learned all of the things that I needed to know about IFRS. I could always go to the ACCA website to get the resources even when I didn't know things. Remember, I also had this network of friends that I could always call if I had a challenge. So that's how I got that job, and then got my first £400 a day job in London. This was so many years ago, I don't know, 15, whatever years ago, as a single lady, who arrived in London that very first day. I don't know how many pounds I took with me, right, on my very first day. So long story short, I moved back to Nigeria. And again, I remember when I wanted to get a job after my stint with PricewaterhouseCoopers, I decided I would mail finance directors across Nigeria. And I tried to find that email so I could share it with you on this call, but it's been a long time ago. I couldn't find it, 2008. But I remember my email to them started with, dear whoever, I'm an ACCA qualified accountant, right? That's a badge that I've carried with me all through my careers. I can't think of any interview I've attended. That first line, when they ask me to introduce myself, I always start with, I'm an ACCA qualified accountant, because I know that immediately I tell the interviewer that I'm ACCA qualified, they are sure that I know something about accounting. So that's the same email that I sent that got me my dream job with British American Tobacco. And with that job, I had so many beautiful experiences, and all the subsequent jobs, business class trips, stays in the best hotels in so many parts of the world, right? I think the last time I checked, I've traveled to either almost 30 countries or more in the world because of my career. Most of the countries I've been to, I didn't have to buy my tickets. I got those trips, I got those opportunities because I'm an accountant and I'm an ACCA qualified accountant. I don't have the local qualification. ACCA is what I have. And ACCA is what builds the career of my dreams. I think, let me also just summarize by saying that even post my career, because I resigned as the finance director for Coca-Cola in end of 2020. My son said 2020. Was that 2020? Okay. Well, even after I resigned, guess who I went back to? I went back to ACCA. Now I'm on the council. Hopefully, I'm going to be supporting members, to also, and students, affiliates, to also achieve the career of my dreams. Let me summarize by saying that the ACCA qualification has impacted me in ways that I never imagined. it's built a beautiful life for me. And also, let me tell you, being married to an ACC accountant is also a dream. Like, you know, all of those things they teach us about ethics, professionalism, and all of those things, it's evident even in our marriage, right? It's evident in everything that I do, evident in everything that my husband does. Now that I'm back on council, I continue to benefit from the ACCA network. I had a consulting job where my clients wanted to open an account in Dubai, and you know, they had struggled with it for a while. Guess what? I then remembered, oh, but I have a council member who lives in the UAE. Why don't I reach out to him? I reached out to this guy. Within days, he sorted me out, gave me all the links I needed, the connects that I needed, and I was sorted out. When I was doing my job as either treasurer, finance director, I would get resources from ACCA. If I needed to recruit, I could reach out to the ACCA. I knew that if I was recruiting an ACCA member, I was getting a top-notch talent on my team. I think there was a time I got so biased that if I saw a CV and there was no ACCA on it, I would just move to the next CV. Like at a point, I had to say, you know what, calm down. It's not that bad, you know. And it continues, the ACCA qualification continues to enrich my life even today, being on council, you know, having this opportunity even to connect with you guys and to share my story with you. And Jonathan.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so Jonathan, I just want to say thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to speak to current students, prospective students. Let me end by saying that the journey is not an easy one. I know a lot of people complain about ACCA being expensive. When I was doing my exams as well, it was expensive, but it got to a point where in a day, right, I was earning, you know, so much money that I could, you know, I knew that those sacrifices that I made at that time, you know, was well worth it. And with that career, it paid for my MBA. You know, I went to an expensive school for my MBA. ACCA paid the bills, right? So yes, I know it's tough. Yes, I know it's a long journey because there's so many exams to pass. You know, yes, I know that it sometimes feels expensive, but trust me, it's an investment worth making. It would pay off if you hang in there. Thanks everyone for listening, and I hope in some way my story inspires you to continue your ACCA journey.
Wonderful. That was fantastic. That was breathtaking. That was insightful. That was motivational. I think I can't even describe the words. That was fantastic. Thank you, Miriam, for sharing this fantastic experience. And I like the humility with which you use words like that young girl, that young girl. I had 400 pounds a day. I was wondering if I heard you well, you know. And this was 2000 and what? So just to see that was fantastic from you. We're proud about, you know, having you on board. We're also proud about the fact that, you know, that young girl, like you kept referring to yourself, is also a member on council. And just to inspire everyone on the call, she actually made it to council on first attempt. So your dreams are all valid. I keep saying this, your dreams are all valid. That ACCA qualification could just be the passport to, you know, a vista of opportunities, you know, that can take you as far as, you know, you can think of it. Miriam, would like to say a very big thank you to you. And I think I would let the CEO of the school, Mr. Sheyi, just say formal thank you again on behalf of the school. Thank you, but let Sheyi do the honors for us. So Sheyi, over to you.
Okay. Hi, Miriam. Thank you so much. This was a very nice one. I hope you can hear me. I listened to every part of your notes, and I could just imagine, you know, if I was in my early 20s, for example, how inspiring this would have been, particularly for you know, young ladies looking at capturing the world before them. So thank you so much. I mean, it's a really interesting story. How you even got married in the process, you know. And I think for me, your ACCA story pretty much tells us that we should be resilient even when we face tough times, and we should also take ownership of our career, you know, and make the right move at every given opportunity. So thanks so much for coming. I know you are the one welcoming me to council, so obviously we'll be dealing with council matters over there. And we will certainly reach out to you again, you know, in the future, and we sure do hope that you will have that time to, you know, give us some minutes of your time. Thanks again. All right. Bye-bye. Okay, Jonathan, are you still there?
Yeah, fine. So many
All right.
thanks. Okay, so we should be taking the head of ACC in Nigeria. He just sent me a chat. He's trying to join in. So what will happen is let's take a quick presentation
I'm actually on the
from the
call
head
now,
of
Jonathan.
our. Oh, fantastic! Okay, remember we did say this was going to be bumper packed and quite very heavy. So it's also our pleasure to welcome the head of ACC in Nigeria on this call. No other person than Mr. Tom Isibo. So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the head of ACC in Nigeria, Mr. Tom Isibo. Over to you, sir.
Thanks a lot, Jonathan, and good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year. And I trust everyone is keeping safe. And I think in this climate that we are in, I mean, the standard response we normally give to emails is trust you are well, or hope you are keeping well. And in the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I think this has taken a more significant meaning for me because I have a lot of loved ones who are really very, very down during this period. The Harmattan and Omicron and COVID and all of it together. So I think trust you are keeping well, or hope you are keeping well. I think it shouldn't just be a cliche to all of us anymore. I think we should really, really take the issue of our health very seriously. On that note, I'd like to thank the leadership of Ivyleague for inviting me for this session. Really very grateful, Jonathan, and everyone. And especially, I'd like to thank the ACCA Council member on the call. Miriam, thank you for also agreeing to be part of this. I really think it's very important that individuals like you should be able to come to forums like this to inspire us and share your success story. So thank you very much. I know how busy you are indeed. And of course, to Deborah, thank you for joining, and thank you for all the advocacy that you've been doing for ACC as well. To our future members, I would also like to say thank you. Thank you for choosing ACCA. Thank you for all the sacrifices you make daily for ACCA. We know that it is not a cheap qualification, for one. And secondly, I also know the sacrifices you make in terms of study time, content materials, and then of course the sacrifices you need to make as well, family time, your social time, to ensuring that you make the ACCA qualification. But as an organization, I want to assure you of ACCA commitment to supporting you, to ensuring that you achieve your aspiration of becoming an ACCA qualified chartered accountant. And of course, you are aware, there is no quota system in ACCA. We want as many students as possible to pass their exams. And because of this, we've made a lot of resources available for students. We do free revision, we do revision classes, free revision classes in partnership with our learning providers. We also have, of course, the Education Hub, and a lot of resources really that's available to students. And currently there's also the Future of Study materials, which ACCA has made available to approved learning providers at no cost, and for students to also have access to this as well. Part of our strategic focus in ACCA, of course, is to ensure employability of members, and that has had a lot of impact on the structure and the makeup of our qualification, which we are consistently innovating to ensure that your qualification is highly regarded by employers and also relevant to the fast-changing world that has been brought about by disruption in the digital space and also by the COVID as well. But the fantastic thing is that your qualifications still remain relevant across the globe. ACCA members, we have members in over 180 countries, and these members are gainfully employed. And we also have a community of support structure of networking to support members and future members. Part of our key strategic focus for our next financial year, as most of you will be aware, our financial year runs between April and March, April to March, is employability. So we're going to really be investing resources and also creating the requisite relationships to ensure that our members' aspiration for employability is given a lot of focus for this financial year. So there's going to be a lot of focus on SMPs, there's going to be a lot of focus on SMEs, as well as strengthening our employer relationships through our approved employer process. We're also working with a lot of partners. There's a lot of strategic partnership that ACCA is championing, both in Nigeria and then globally as well. All is to ensure that the value of your qualification is recognized, or recognition of your qualification across the world. But because the focus of this group is basically speaking with future members, and I'm sure as Jonathan will have mentioned or will mention in the course of this presentation, there's really a lot of, there's been a lot of collaborations that we have been having, in country to ensure that our student pass rates and progression is highly improved. We started a project last 2 years in which we brought in an external consultant as well to come and support us, working with the 3 approved learning providers in Nigeria. And the objective is, how else can we support our students? What else can we do differently to ensure that students pass exams? Now, there are 2 parts of this. The first part is the lecturer's part or the tutor's part. We are ensuring that we are identifying the requisite capabilities and capacity to ensure that they can meet your aspirations in terms of how quickly you want to pass the ACCA qualification. Because for us in ACCA, if a student is starting from knowledge level to professional level, we usually we expect them to be done with the qualification in 4 years. But an average in Nigeria has been way more than that. So we're working with that consultant to identify the key areas that we need to improve upon. And we've identified technology, we've identified better customer service, we've identified digital engagement, better customer services, coming from the ALPs, in terms of service delivery from the ALPs to the students. and we are working on it. We're also working on predictive analysis, in which we should be able to tell a student, you know what, we think perhaps it might be better for you to resit this exam at another diet, or we don't think you're quite ready yet to sit after all the investment that you made. The ultimate objective of the market, or ACCA in Nigeria, is to give you a money-back guarantee to students, and we are working on this. And the objective is we are going to have, specific sets of criteria for students who want to take up this challenge. So perhaps you have to sit marks, and you have to, go through certain routines. And if you are able to do that, if you still don't pass the exam, we are guaranteeing to give you your money back, or you can receipt, or you can decide to come back for that paper in that particular school, and you're going to be paying for it, and you're not going to be paying a dime for it. But those are things in the future. And like I said, it is in two parts. The first part is for the tutors, for us to improve their capacities and to increase the school's capacity, the tutor's capability to be able to deliver quality service to you. The second part is for the students, and I'll be honest, since I became country head, I have thrown in everything I know, thrown in the sink, the bucket, everything, to ensure that we can give students the requisite support to meet their aspiration. And that is why I was particularly very excited when I saw that Deborah is also going to be facilitating part of this session. Our challenge really as an office is, how do we get students to respond to all the humongous resource that's available to students? I was particularly disappointed. I think that was about a year and a half ago. There was a session we put together. We've got some of the best hotels in Lagos. We've paid for lunch and snacks and everything. And we were expecting 500 students. Guess the number that turned up? 70 students. And of course, we had to pay. And that was a resource that was wasted. So part of my pushback and challenge as well to students is, how do we make you, or how do we make you utilize those resources that's available to you? Because I believe that tuition is fantastic, and we've always preached that tuition is the only way to go to be successful in ACCA exam. But there's also the part that you need to have, tests, in-class tests, mock assessments and stuff like that. We need you to make yourself available for this as well. Because if you don't, there's no way we can assess, and there's no way we can be able to give you a more pinpointed feedbacks and support on what you need to do to qualify as quickly as possible. Now, today, even as bumpy as the economy is, I'm very proud to announce that we have a lot of ACCA members who are doing well in their chosen careers and have been, also appointed for national assignments. For example, I can tell you of two this morning who just got assigned to some organizations that were not doing too well, for them to, make it over and bring it back to profitability. So who is going to be that next ACCA member that's going to impact his environment, that's going to impact the profession, and that's going to, achieve his aspiration? I pray it is you, but if it is you, there are a lot of back-end hard work, and I'm sure as Miriam will tell you some of the sacrifices that she had to make to ensure that she became finance director at Coca-Cola, finance director at Pernod Ricard, and of course, other things she has done in her successful career. So I wish you luck, I wish you the best, but I please want to urge you that there's a part you need to play in this. And that part is, how do you interact with resources? How do you also push your tutors to give you the quality of what you want? them to give to you. On that note, I say thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Jonathan, again for the invitation, and I hand back to you. Thank you very much.
Well done, sir. Many thanks for the insights as to what the plan of the ACCA Nigerian market is. Many thanks for that, and also listing out the investments and also some of the planned interventions you are making. So we want to say a very big thank you. I think it's fair to let our CEO also say a big thank you to you as well. So I just want to call on Shea as well to express the gratitude on behalf of the school.
Mr. Tom, thanks very much. Always answering us when we knock on your door. So we do appreciate that. I think if there's anything that we should all take away from the few minutes Tom had with us, it's number one, all efforts are geared towards improving student progression, particularly in Nigeria, not only from ACCA's perspective, but also from the tuition provider's perspective, and also from the student's perspective. And the second thing is, please make the most of all the resources that ACCA has invested in to increase your chances of passing. Pay attention to those emails and text messages they send to you, because sometimes they may actually make the difference. So Tom, thanks a lot. We do appreciate you coming to talk to us today. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Shea. I didn't actually know you were on the call as well. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Shea has been very clear. We get a lot of support, from the ACCA Nigeria team. And the demonstration of this support again is we also have one of the leadership from ACCA Nigeria, who is not in the country, but, had to stop by, just to express his best wishes with what we are doing. So I want to call on the learning manager at ACCA Nigeria, Mr. Victor Ayola. Just a couple of words to us. We recognize your presence and your support you provide to us as well. So, Mr. Victor, the floor is yours, just to share with us your thoughts.
Sorry, I was trying to unmute. Good morning, everyone. I believe that you can hear me now. I think it's really a great privilege, and there is really not so much to add after my boss, Mr. Tom Isibo, has spoken so clearly about the passion of ACCA to see you to succeed. And it's a very great privilege to have this kind of opportunity. I just like Bisola mentioned in our presentation, not many of us had this kind of unique opportunity which you now have. Exactly the same way that Bisola had a journey. I had to leave Nigeria to study the ACCA, and exactly the same way it opened a whole lot of new world, new possibilities to me. And it goes far beyond that. I don't want to repeat the importance of taking the ACCA qualification. But one thing that Tom mentioned is that a lot of us are not taking full advantage of the opportunities that are available. A whole lot of us are not yet taking full advantage of the opportunities that are available. And if there's any plea that I want to make in this short time that I have, it is, please, you have already paid for the qualification, you're already paying your subscription, you're already paying for your tuition. Why not make the very best use of it so that your return on investment can be the best that you can ever get? Perhaps your story may end up being even greater than Mary Bisola's own, or even Sheyi's own. There are many people that this qualification has changed their life in a very positive way. Just like Tom mentioned, we, particularly in the last 2 years, we've organized an unimaginable number of interventions to support students in Nigeria. And if you have not been part of those interventions, it means that you are really, really missing a whole lot. Ivyleague, a platinum provider, is one of the best tuition providers anywhere in the world. And I say that without apology, without any reservation. I studied in BPP and Kaplan, and I can tell you that what makes someone a platinum is that they are performing at least 75% above global in every single examination. And for you to have such a tuition provider in Nigeria is a real privilege which you should take advantage of. And African students are taking advantage of that over and over and over again. We've been getting the likes of Jonathan and Sheyi to come and run programs for us at the Africa level, attended by many, many students. For example, last year we organized we organized a mock program for Africa. Over 3,000 students in Africa registered for that mock. Over 1,000 actually took the mock. It is disheartening that we don't have too many Nigerian students taking advantage. A mock in my BPP days will cost me £350 just for the privilege of being able to sit down for 3 hours to write my exam and for somebody to debrief me for another 2 hours. Please, my plea with you is that I'll be sending you a lot of interventions beginning from next week as we move towards the exam. The first thing is that if I send you something before your exam result comes out, I have not seen your result. So please don't panic. But the most important thing is please use these interventions. Make sure you attend all the revision courses that we are attending, we are organizing. Make sure everything that Ivyleague is going to give you today, you take the most advantage of it. And if you need help, I'm always available. ACCA Nigeria is always available. You can always get me on victor.ayola@accglobal.com. Let me repeat, victor.ayola. Ayola is AYOOLA@accglobal.com. And my phone number is +234 8022942245 +234 8022942245. Please, if you need any support at any time, please call me. My phone number is available 24 hours, but I can tell you I do sleep, I do eat, so I'm not available 24 hours. Try as much as possible to make it business hours. But whatever time you leave your message, I will always return your call and I will always reply your message. Thank you. That's all from me, Jonathan, unless you want me to address specific things.
Okay. So can you hear me, Victor?
Yes, I can.
All right. Okay. So once again, many thanks. Just a demonstration of the support we get from you and also our overall boss, Mr. Tom. So many thanks for that. Okay. So Shay, you want to speak?
Yeah, Jonathan. I don't know. I mean, I don't know whether we still have Tom on the call. Victor, clearly emphasized the importance of using all these resources again, and then also the supports that they are available, for your inquiries or any way you may need help through your ACCA journey. But I was just thinking, there may be questions that are exclusively for ACCA that Victor may need to answer, or maybe Tom, I don't know if he's still on the call, before they leave. I'm not sure if we should take that now. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a great point. I can confirm Tom is on the call. Mr. Tom, do you want to confirm as well?
Yeah, so if you have any question, please just indicate by raising your hand. Questions, related to ACCA Nigeria, and if we think that there are things we can take on our own, then we will take it when it's time for Q&A. But if it's something that it's nice to be taken by the ACCA team here, then we'll just make it available to them. I don't see any hand up yet. Okay, Victor, Victor, I see your hand up. You want to ask yourself a question?
Yes, there was a guy who asked a question earlier from university, from OAU, asking about the exceptions and the process. I don't know whether Olumide wants to handle that, but I think the quick thing I would like to tell the guy is OAU has 5 or 6 exceptions. I don't know at the top of my head. And what you need to do is to first register to join the ACCA. And when you are registering, if you are an accounting graduate, you submit your necessary documents and you can then apply for your exemption. And that is the answer to that. But if you need any further support, please send me an email with your details and information, and then I can escalate for you so that is resolved for you as quickly as possible.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Dolapo, go ahead.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Dolapo. So I would like to ask if the stage I will write for the ACCA exam. I'm ICANN chartered, and also I graduated from OAU with my BSc in accounting. So I really want to know what stage I would write for the exam and the exemptions, just like the other guy asked already. So that's just my own concern. The stages I will start writing for this exam.
Okay.
If I'm certified.
Okay, yeah. So we'll take that towards the end, but I think the quick answer is the strategic professional level, assuming you're not interested in OBU BSc. Priscilla, go ahead.
Good morning. So this isn't related to ACCA, but when Mr. Tom was telling us his phone number, I was distracted. So please, can someone please give me his phone number again? Thank you.
Okay,
that's actually
Victor's phone number.
Okay, I will.
Yeah,
I'm trying to see if there is a place I can type. I think my chat is disabled. But let me repeat.
Yeah, no worries. We will drop it on the chat box.
Okay,
I
that's
hope
fine.
the chat box is live. So manager, kindly help us drop Victor's number in the chat box.
Okay,
thank you. I think those are the questions. All right. I think those are the questions for now. Joe, we can move on.
Okay, well done. So at Ivyleague, we offer quite a range of programs and tuition. One that will be very interesting to quite a lot of us on the call will be how to obtain the BSc in Applied Accounting, courtesy of the partnership with ACC and Oxford Brookes University. We have a special open day session for that, but just at a very high level and a high overview, we would call on the head of the team responsible for the project mentoring to speak to us at a very high level on, how we can all take advantage of the BSc in Applied Accounting, courtesy of the ACC's partnership with Oxford Brookes University. So it's my pleasure to call on the head of our OBU team, Mrs. Adetutu Oluwadari. So we like to call her our VC. So welcome, VC.
All right, thank you so much, Jonathan, and good morning, everyone. Please, can you confirm that I'm audible?
Sure. Yes,
okay. All right, thank you. I think that everybody that has gone ahead of me has made the conversation very, very simple. But I'd like to just quickly share, the eligibility criteria for obtaining the BSc Applied Accounting. And I know that a lot of people just want to know, do I have to finish the ACCA qualification before I am eligible for this? The answer now and the good news is that you do not have to have completed everything in ACCA to be eligible. All you need to have done is to have concluded your applied skills and your knowledge papers. And then there are 3 papers that are very important that will form the basis of your transcript. So it's important that you should have passed your financial reporting, your audit and assurance, and financial management. Also, if you have been offered exceptions, you could decide that you would, refuse those exceptions, more like decide that you do not want the exceptions because you want to qualify for to write the project. And then very important is your ACCA Ethics and Professional Skills module. Is you must have completed that module before you submit your RAP. RAP is the research project that gives you that that is used to grade your project, and then that you submit, that then eventually becomes the base for the score or the grade you get in the BSc project. Also, I like to just quickly mention that there is a document called Information Pack, which is very, very important that we advise people to read through and understand, because everything that you need for success in the project, that qualifies you for the BSc is detailed in there. Then I'll just quickly go to what we do in Ivyleague and how we support you to achieve this good success. So at Ivyleague, we have a pool of excellent faculty that are seasoned, and they understand. We've been doing this for over 10 years, and we have a pool and a faculty of people that are seasoned in this. Quite number, more than 80% of the faculty, or maybe like 70%, went through this project as well. So we have experiential knowledge and we can share. So we usually would have an OBU induction day, which is a day where we would, take time to give you a detailed breakdown, and we'll go into more specifics on that day, explaining the details of the RAP project itself. That's going to happen on the 5th of February. And then at Ivyleague, we also, have dedicated mentors per student. So per mentee, we like to say, everybody that is interested in this project, you have someone that is assigned to you that will guide you. Of course, we do not write the project on behalf of the mentees, but we'll guide them, we'll challenge your thought patterns, would help you to ensure that, you have and then we have an excellent track record. Almost every submission round in and out, we have over 80% success rate, and that is really an achievement that we have in the school. We also do chapter by chapter feedback. So there are actually 3 chapters in the project. When you do your chapter 1, you have a season and a session with your mentor, and then you go through it, a detailed explanation of how you can ensure that the chapter is improved, of course, also leveraging best practice. So finally, on the review of your project, Oswald Brooks would typically pass the project through a software, just to check that, your project doesn't have similarity index with other projects that have been written. And so we also support our students, through, when we do our OBU presentation day, we guide as to how you can do like a check on your project using, the advised Plagiarism Check platform. So we basically just support the mentees from the beginning of the project till the end of the project. And like I said, we have excellent success rates, and we're proud to mention that. I'd like to just quickly share some important timelines that we have as a school that we would like you to note. So like I said earlier, our OBU induction day is on the 5th of February. And then once we do that, we always give mentees time to, indicate their interest, and then we send out forms for people to, of course, everything is now, majority of things we do in the school is now virtual, because, that's the reality of the world we're in. So we do mentor allocation where, you're dedicated to a particular mentor who would guide you through the project. That will happen February 12th. And then, of course, there are 3 scheduled meetings that Oswald Brooks have advised that, should be statutorily held. Of course, we do more than that as a school, but yes, the 3 statutory meetings, we have the date also highlighted, February 19, March 5th, and March 22nd. Then, I had said that during the presentation, we do a presentation where you would, go through everything you have done, you would discuss what you have learned, you would, gather and, present a 15-minute presentation, just a summary of your research project and, everything that you have done all through the project. That, would also do a pre-night. Then the plagiarism check that I've spoken about, after you have gotten relevant feedback from all the mentors and your fellow mentees, you will then, have to carry out a plagiarism check on your project, and this will happen April 23rd. Of course, there are two, there's the first, for submitting your project, there is the earliest submission, which we always advise our mentees to work towards so that, you're not pressured, for the latest submission. So if you look through what we have documented here, we didn't even put the date for the latest submission. It's always 2 weeks after the date of the earliest submission, which is May 1st. I should also mention that, you are eligible to submit the project twice a year. It happens in May and November. So, of course, now we're preparing for the May submission round. It's important to note people will always also want to plan and, have a focus ahead. For us, as the submission fees, you pay £445. So it's very important that you also count the cost, because if you do not make these fees, of course, OBU has also made it very easy for you. You can submit your project without the payment, but your result does not get released until the payment is made. So you could just plan. £445 is the fee. As a school, we also have a fee that we charge for the monitoring, for the mentoring fee that we do at Ivyleague, and that's 70,000 naira. We had mentioned that it's very important that you do your ethics model. If by March 25, 2022, you have not completed the ethics model, then you are not eligible to submit the project. Of course, like we also mentioned earlier, the date for the earliest receipt of your OBU project is May 1st, and the results will be out by September 21st, 2022. So we have a dedicated session where we would, go more into, the granularity of the details. Of course, we can't, go into all that at this session. So we employ everyone that is interested in being part of this to join us February 5th, 2022 to, gain more insight and understand the requirements of the project in more details. Thank you. Over to you, Jonathan.
Fantastic and very brilliant presentation from you to our VC. Just to corroborate our point, we have a dedicated information session for this that will be coming up on February 5th. We do implore you to please catch up with us on February 5th, and we can go in a lot of details on this. I think the advantages of subscribing for this really it's quite far-reaching, and we're going to speak to that a lot on February 5th. Okay, at this point, I would like to also call one of the directors in the school who will speak to one of our product offerings, the Diploma in International Financial Reporting Standards, just to check if Babs is on the call.
Oh, yes. Hello, Jonathan.
Yeah, fantastic. We can hear you. Please go on.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Babs Adesola, as Jonathan has introduced. I lead the team in anchoring Diploma in IFRS. So what about Deep IFRS, and what was the significance in the scheme of things as far as this CA bouquet of programs are concerned? As you can see, so it's an add-on certification for professionals that want skills. So whether you are an accountant that you want to be more grounded in IFRS, or you're an auditor and you have some nuances to deal with as far as reporting or international financial reporting issues are concerned. So deep IFRS will be a qualification to take. As you can see the last slide. Okay, Jonathan, please, could you go back to the last slide? Thank you. So, as I said, it's for finance professionals. If you do not know, for those of you that are just hearing about IFRS for the first time, it's a set of accounting principles that we use in preparing financials. What we mean, financial statement or accounts have to be prepared in line with certain rules. So rules, or the most popular set of rules all over the world for preparing account or financial statement, is all called IFRS. As of today, it's this set of rules are adopted in over 100 countries. And as you can see, the UK, Canada, Australia, your country, Nigeria, South Africa, and the likes. Next slide, please. So we can move to the next slide. Okay, so like I mentioned, if you're an auditor, a finance person, or you have an ICANN qualification, and you want to have some icing on the cake, then you can go for diploma in IFRS. That is about who is it for. Now, in terms of the next slide. So how is it done? It's actually a one-stage 3-year computer-based exam. June is just a one-stage exam. It's not a certification that you have to do over 2 or 3 years. Just within 6 months, and you are done. Okay? And what does it take for you to be awarded this certificate? You will need to have crossed the minimum pass mark of 50%. You need to have crossed, or a candidate needs to have crossed the minimum pass mark of 50%. And I'm sure you know that getting 50% is, with your effort, with our beats, of course, that is highly attainable. How do you register? This will cost you an initial fee of £36, and which will be supported by your work experience, because around financial reporting. So if you are a finance person, you can come with your work experience. If you are an ICANN holder, so if you not have any ICANN holder, this registration must be and should be done at least 2 months before 15th of April. So we're talking about something 15th of February or thereabouts. Anyone that intends to be writing this exam for June should have commenced and should have completed the registration. Now that is registering for the exam. So a portal will be created for every candidate. Just the last slide, please. The last slide, please. Okay. So in terms of, okay, I think I will have to move on. So how do you start? I've talked about this. So this is what it takes to start the exam. Either you have a 2-year relevant accounting experience, or you have ACCA certificate in international financial reporting. There's a lower certification from ACCA that could serve as an entry route to this. Or you have a 3-year relevant accounting experience, or candidates and ACCA athletes. All of these would be admissible. However, joining platinum rated ACCA will help ease the journey. Okay. The next slide. The next slide.
Okay, that's it, except you want to add some
other
things again.
Okay, cool. Okay. So I'm sure that if anyone has any question as regards this, that can be sent to our admin team and we'll take it up from there. Thank you very much, Jonathan.
All right, fantastic, and that was very explicit and very detailed in the way you explained it. So this is one of the several product offerings at Ivyleague. And this can speak to anyone, really, if you have an interest in deepening your understanding on financial reporting, or it's been a long time you actually wrote your chartered accountancy exam. You might want to refresh yourself by taking this particular qualification. So, and we're always happy to say we would support you in your journey towards this. Thanks so much. At this point, I would like to bring up our second guest keynote speaker, so that I mean, just part of what we're covering today. And this one really excites us a lot. And I say excites us a lot because she's an alumni of the school and she's gone through our program. So who do we have? We have a very seasoned emotional intelligence coach, Deborah David. You heard the head of ECC Nigeria speak highly about her not too long ago. And just a bit about her, she's a certified chartered accountant, a certified social and emotional intelligence coach, a trainer, an author, and a renowned public speaker. She's the current CFO of African Circle Pollution Management Limited, a company licensed to operate port reception facilities in all the 6 Nigerian seaports on behalf of the Nigerian Port Authority in order to help vessels comply with international IMO convention. Before then, she had worked in prestigious organizations like MTN Nigeria, KPMG, Centrica Energy, and GSK. A bit about our keynote speaker. She's a graduate of economics from the Olabisi Onabanjo University from Nigeria. She's an arrested scholar, an alumni of the Wharton Business School of the University of Pennsylvania. She's also an alumni of the Columbia Business School, New York, an alumni of INSEAD in France, an alumni of the Lagos Business School and the Institute of Directors, UK. She is a distinguished fellow of the Association of Corporate Governance Professionals. She's a fellow of the Certified Chartered Accredited Financial Analyst from the American Academy of Financial Managers, and above all, an alumni of the Ivyleague Associates. We are so proud of her. Ladies and gentlemen, it's our pleasure to present to you Deborah David. So just confirm to me, Deborah, you're on the call.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right,
I can hear you. Am I audible
she
for
will
everyone?
be speaking. All right.
Am I
So
audible
just a bit
for
of
you,
context,
please?
she will be speaking. Yes, we can hear you.
All right, good. Thank you.
All right. So just a bit of context, she will be speaking on, emotional intelligence, but largely really around overcoming the fears associated with passing, the ACC exam. So we're in safe hands, and it's a pleasure to welcome you to the school once again. This is home for you, Deborah David.
Yes, thank you so much, Jojo, my prophet. I call you a prophet because you do not know how much your prophecy helped me in passing my exam. So I greet everyone on this call, and I want to also congratulate very profoundly the team at Ivyleague Associates. They are doing a good job. They didn't pay me to do marketing. No, I'm just somebody who has a testimony that is proven. And I think that you being in this meeting today is one very good step that you have taken, because you're about to be helped, supported, assisted to achieve your goal. So congratulations to Ivyleague team, and then thank you all for coming out on this Saturday morning to listen to me. Jojo, you read so many things, and I was not expecting you to introduce me that way. You should have just said a former student, you will be fine. However, it's not about me today, it's about everyone else who has come out of their houses. I mean, this morning, when he spoke to me a few weeks ago and said I will come up, I said, this season, I don't come out like that till first week of January. I'm in church, I'm doing some preparations for the year, etc. But because he was the one that called me, I had to listen to my boss. Because I have very few minutes, I'll just dig right into what I'm here to share with you from my heart. If you care about a title, I call it Give Yourself a Chance. What does it mean to give yourself a chance? Giving yourself a chance means allow yourself to achieve the goal that you have told yourself you want to achieve. By being here today, I am taking it for granted that you want to do ACCA or any other related courses. I'm taking it for granted that you care about your career and your professional life. I'm taking it for granted that you expect that this forum will help you and prepare you for the future that you earnestly seek. I'm also taking it for granted that you believe that Ivyleague Associate, being a platinum learning partner, has what it takes to take you from there to where you want to be. So if my assumptions are correct about you, then you're my correct audience this morning. So give yourself a chance. I mean, I don't want to tell you about my own story, how I did ACCA, ran away, came back, ran away, came back, ran away, came back. So each time I see somebody put out on LinkedIn that I've passed, I've qualified, and I try to read their story, they seem to have a very good story to tell. Some will say I started under 1.5 years, I completed. Some will say I started 3 years. Some will say I started this and that. So give yourself a chance to accomplish that which you set to accomplish. How can you give yourself that chance? You know, you heard them say emotional intelligence coach, etc. I've not always been very emotionally stable until I went to seek for help, and I now became a helper to many people by the grace of God. So giving yourself a chance involves that you will tell yourself that you are ready for your next level. You will tell yourself that you deserve the kind of future that you have pictured. You will tell yourself that you are ready to pay the price for the kind of prominence, income, influence, impact that you desire to achieve in life. I write very interestingly now, ACCA in front of my name, plus all other things. Before, I used to look at ACCA qualification in front because I didn't give myself a chance. So once I failed the paper, I will leave it, go away. I will leave it for a while and then come back again. Then I have to start. So I wrote APM, wrote everything, you know, but I was passing until I got to P3, which was business analysis, I think, in 2000 and maybe 2006, 2007. After writing a long time. So they changed the syllabus, my credit elapsed, changed the syllabus, my credit elapsed. I kept doing it until I came back and wrote SBL again, wrote SBR again, wrote everything again. If I picked APM, I failed. I went to audit. If I failed audit, I went to AFM. If I failed AFM, if I tried all the electives until I decided to tell myself, settle down and understand what it is that you want. How badly do you want this ACCA? So when I told myself, I think I want it. I have been here, been there, done that, do that. But this ACCA, I must get you. So I want to preach to you today, if you call it preaching. Give yourself a chance. You know, don't pick it and drop it. And I don't know what level of stage that everybody here is on. Some might just be complete starter. Some can be undergraduate, some can be worker, some may have started long ago and they're coming back. Whatever level you have found yourself, give yourself a chance. Number one, it will come to you like fear sometimes. Can I pass? Will I pass? Let me tell you, you will pass. And if you have come to Ivyleague, you will really, really pass. I mean, the first day I told myself I want to give myself a chance, I now went online, ACCA website. I checked all the learning partners. I've always been reading on my own throughout. The first school I went was Ivyleague, and I was glad that I was directed by God there. So I saw platinum partners. I saw 2 that I thought looked like their distance and their address would be easy for me from where I lived. So I now started thinking, which one should I go? So I put out a test to myself that if I send an email or send a WhatsApp to the number, the first person that responded. So the first person that responded was Ivyleague out of the 2. I think maybe Olumide or one of the very intelligent guys there spoke to me and I said, you know what? I've been writing ACCA for a long time. I'm not going to hide. But I think that I need to support myself with this particular institute or any institute at all so that I can make sure that I tell myself that I'm brilliant enough to pass ACCA. And just as if he was prophesying, the guy said, those who come to Ivyleague always pass. That he assures me I will pass. And I was surprised. How can he be so arrogant and be assuring me? Do you even know how long ago? I said, okay, I'll give it a chance. And that's what I'm telling you now. Give yourself a chance. And I gave it a chance. I paid, I did everything. COVID came and it has to be online, which was suitable for me. And all that. And we continued. When I came to the class of APM, the first thing Jojo said was, ACCA wants you to pass. The examiner wants you to pass. And like a prophecy, that was all I've been waiting for all my life that I didn't get. I said, so ACCA wants me to pass. I am not running away again. Even if I write this APM and fail, I will not even run away. I will make sure I pass it. So that was the first deliverance I got. And every time in class, after the class, it will speak to our minds again, speak to our emotions again, to give us a sense of belonging that ACCA wants us as much as we want ACCA. And that's how I wrote that APM first time after I joined Ivyleague and passed too. And the same thing happened. I wrote AFM and I also passed. What did I do actually? I'm sure they must have been doing what they've been doing all the years, but I gave myself a chance. I went to the place where I could be helped. Every time fear came to my mind, I told myself to calm down. Every time I doubted that this exam you've been writing, is it now that your hands are full? As a C-suite executive, you are into many things, board meeting here, blah, blah, blah. The time you had time, you didn't pass. Now that your hands are full, is that when you're going to pass? Each time the doubt came to my mind, I told myself, ACCA wants me as much as I want ACCA. I'm going to pass. So that's talking about passing ACCA, how to overcome the fear of ACCA. Just that single sentence, give yourself a chance. Don't even think about you are failing. And the worst that will even happen is that you fail. You fail a paper, go back and write it. Don't run away, there's nothing there. Another thing that will come at you is, this thing in pounds, eh? But what ACCA has done that is very good is 600 naira, they keep it there for you. Don't worry about the price, because by the time you qualify, you will see yourself there and you'll be happy to stay among the people that matter in your profession. And by the time I got to AFM class as well, you hear Sheyi say, by the time we're rounding up the revision set, he just spoke one word. He said, it will not even matter how many times you wrote a particular paper, whether 14 times or 20 times. Once you chatter, you chatter. And that's just the truth. And I said, really, it's true. And I've written the AFM, I can't even tell you how many times. But I wrote it. I gave myself a chance. So the day that we're going to write the exam, I was feeling a bit inadequate somehow. Normally, I used to feel that way as well. And I would be shaking. You know, outside people think I'm very strong. But this ACCA was the only thing. It punished me seriously because I didn't give myself a chance. So I went in there. I said, this time around, this AFM, I'll pick you up. And by the grace of God, I picked it up. I'm chartered now. They put ACCA in front of my name. I'm grateful. So give yourself a chance. I know you will feel fear. Sometimes you will doubt yourself. Another time it might be money, but you can make the sacrifice. You would always find it when you want it, because once there is a will, there is a way. Another time you may need to sacrifice maybe your relationships. Not everybody will matter in this journey you're about to undertake, or in this journey that you're about to continue on. You will have to identify who are those that really matter to you. What I did differently was that every weekend I turned off my phone. I just turned it off. And I sit with the lectures. Before the lectures, I revise the previous lecture. And then I focus on the lecture. After the lecture, I revise the same lecture again. So I did that revision intensely. And trust me, 2 diets only, and I qualified. So it will cost you time. It will cost you money. It will cost you price. It will cost you relationships. It's not all the party you don't want to go. You know, it will cost you a lot of things. But on my final note, I'll let you know that help is available for you. Really, really, really available for you. You just have to give yourself a chance. Separate yourself from those who are not interested in this journey you are going. You can't be telling your dreams to those who are having nightmares. If anybody is not right, that ACCA is too expensive. I hear they used to fail it very well. That's not your business. Leave all of those side talk around. They don't help you. You don't even need it. So you focus on people who are going on the same journey with you. Another thing Ivyleague taught us was that we could even be, study bodies. As CCC has always said, it made it easy. I will say, VA, what are you reading? We'll say somebody is doing an APM mock on this internet. Just take the link. We started exchanging contacts that way, and we're supporting one another. So you need that kind of cloud of people who will support you. You need to do some kind of relationship sorting and identify those who can support you where you're going. And don't be like me who says I can always read by myself. Yeah, I could read by myself, but I needed something to address my emotional dysfunction. I needed something to hear, because we are all impressionable human beings. That's how we are formed. What we hear affects us. What we see affects us. So I heard other things apart from reading book, which was ACCA wants you to pass. The examiner wants you to pass. Just go to the, all these resources there. Go to the examiner's note. Go here, go there. And she said, even if I failed before 14 times, it doesn't matter. Once you pass, you pass. So I settled down. So I want to appreciate this opportunity to share with my colleagues on this call that ACCA is not something that you cannot pass. So to overcome the fear of passing ACCA is to give yourself a chance. Even if you wrote a letter, a particular court or diet and you didn't pass, don't go and lock yourself in the room, beat yourself up and be crying and you are there 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I'm not saying it will not pain you, it will pain you, but give yourself another chance. Do it quickly and get out of the way. I am praying that the Lord will help you and that your journey will not be as tearful. It will be very easy for you. And that this new year you have entered, as you made up your mind to give yourself a chance, and you're also being handheld by a very capable institute. I trust me, they are very capable. So this is here I drop the mic. I pass the mic back to you, Jojo. Are you there?
Yes, and I've received the mic from you. Many thanks. Give yourself a chance. Give yourself a chance, and we will all give ourselves a chance. I think that it's been very inspirational just hearing what you've shared with us and also using your real life example. Many thanks for coming and stopping by at the slightest of invitation. So many thanks for that. I just want to say that we are so proud of you. You've been doing a lot of amazing things, and also with advocacy with the ACC Nigerian team across tertiary institutions and supporting students. So well done, and many thanks for that. So just like we normally do, I'll just like Sheyi to just express his gratitude on behalf of the school. So Sheyi, over to you.
Hi, Deborah. I was so excited when I saw you on the list of guest speakers. Thank you very much for taking this opportunity. Oh, definitely. I remember the time you took AFM, and to be honest, if every student can be as attentive and, in quotes, serious as you were at that time, things will be a bit better. So thank you very much. I picked a lot of things from this as well. Give yourself a chance and, have the mentality that you can do it. And that's really important, not only in the ACCA journey, but in the journey of life in entirety. So thanks a lot. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. So pretty much we've heard from our guest speakers, our keynote speakers, and I think we've not really heard a lot around now the core ACCA qualification and why you should study with us at Ivyleague. I'm going to make this very straight and direct to the point. So at Ivyleague, these are our core offerings for any of the ACCA programs you want to do with us. So we offer broadly several types, but let me list them out. So we have our standard lectures. Our standard lectures are for those who want to write exams in June and December. And the idea really is we have a elongated time to spend, preparing you and, training you for the exams. So this occurs every weekend, and the lectures typically would start the weekend after the results or just the weekend before the results. And something about our standard lectures, we've now brought out we have selected papers from the mix now that are offered on a face-to-face basis at our facility at Yaba. So selected papers, actually 2 in each of the levels are now offered, on a face-to-face basis, in addition to the online complements. And just for clarity, the papers are the MA, which we call Management Accounting, FA, Financial Accounting, PM, Performance Management, FM, Financial Management, SBL, Strategic Business Reporting, and AFM, Advanced Financial Management. So if anyone wants to attend these lectures for this on a face-to-face basis at our facility Ayaba, you are welcome to do so. We also have intensive classes, and these are structured for the exams in March and in September. And the idea really is that this is will be covered within a shorter span. So typically an 8-weekend program, and it's ideally suitable for those who will be retaking a paper. So if you've done a paper before and you like to take it, or if you've been doing self-study like some people do in their ECC journey, and you want to complement that effort, you can join for the program. Interestingly, as we speak, we just commenced the intensive classes for the March exam, and we'll be having also another class shortly by 1 p.m. And I'll share the timetable to illustrate this. We also have a question-based revision program, and this is normally a 6-weekend program. And this starts immediately after the results, from the June exams, and the results are released from the exams written in March and the exams written in September. It's typically a 7-week period, so we run these lectures for the 6 weekends. We also includes a marked final mock exam offering as well. So anyone who would be attending the question-based revision course will get a chance to write a mock exam, and the mock exam will be marked, and there will also be a debrief on the performance against those mock exams. Ideally suitable for those who have completed our standard lectures, and also for those who will be retaking the paper. We also offer full-time weekday classes, and our target audience for these are those in university, those who are in pre-university stage, NYSC, or those with quite a lot of flexibility in terms of the time, because we run these lectures on the weekdays, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Currently, these classes are being offered on a face-to-face basis, and the idea really is the papers that we teach on full-time are the applied knowledge level papers, which are the fundamental papers. So that ability to have that direct engagement with the students, we see that relationship with the pass rates going up for these papers. We can also help you with, getting registered with ACCA, and that's something that we offer as a service as well. Our admin team, the school manager, will speak to that shortly. We are also a licensed computer-based exam center for writing the knowledge module papers as well. And you can do this. These exams are available on demand, and our prices are very competitive and fair. Why study with Ivyleague? We have a unique teaching methodology anchored around 3 pillars. The first one is assess and plan. A bit of context. So when we say assess and plan, we spend a lot of time, in assessing the approach that we'll take for every diet. We usually do extensive detailed planning. So before the commencement of a diet, we come together as a school, the faculty comes together, we sit down, we assess the performance from the past, share insights that we've gathered, based on recommendations and also based on the feedback that we did in the past diets. And then we go into extensive planning. One of the things that we're very happy we do as a school is from day one, you can have access to the lecture plan, whether it's the intensive or it's the weekday class or the standard class. You can have access to the lecture plan, and you know for every particular day what topic will be taught, what questions will be solved in class, and you can track your progress, all through your time with us. The second part of our teaching methodology is on how we drive our engagement. We are proud to say that our engagement is really not limited to the classroom. Very common in Ivyleague is that we engage on different forums. So we have a computer-based platform, that CB platform we use for practicing questions. Even our virtual learning environment also has a lot of functionality where we can engage on different levels. Our WhatsApp group are also there for offline support and engagement as well. So that's something we do. And above all, you see the passion, in the way we deliver, engage, and teach, as a school. And then finally, there's a lot of effort on, ensuring that we get our students to practice questions. And this is demonstrated with the fact that, in the school, we offer series of practice questions. So we have a practice exams we do. In fact, 2 practice exams will be delivered over the course of a diet, and there will be a final mock. So there's a lot. And every topic core topic, in the syllabus would always have a question being solved by the tutor in class. So there's quite a lot of emphasis because ultimately the exam requires that, you would have gone through quite a lot of questions. So we do a lot of practice, we review and, do a lot of practice. So that's the third part of our teaching methodology. In terms of supporting your learning journey, I said earlier on that we have a lecture plan that is made available from the commencement of the diet for every paper. You can access them on the virtual learning environment. And we have a dedicated WhatsApp group that ensures, communication can be offline, even beyond, the timing of the classes. And we also run feedback sessions. We always and our feedback approach is really in two ways. So we have formal feedbacks and we have informal feedbacks. We do, and really the idea around our feedback is to continue to serve and improve on our service levels, with our students. And the feedback doesn't just cover the faculty. We also run the feedback on our administrative process, and our overall learning experience as a school. We have a virtual learning environment that is unique to us in this market. I'm going to give you details of some of the benefits of our virtual learning environment, which includes, access to study materials, a customized email address, that you could use as well. We run progress tests. There'll be 2 progress tests and a final mock for those who will be running the standard classes. But for those who will be doing the intensive classes, you have access to a final mock that will be marked and debriefed. Our revision program is very detailed. It's a 6 weekends revision program, and just focused on solving questions. Another embedded part of our learning approach is the computer-based exam practice we do. And that's because all these exams are now done on the computer-based environment. So our question practice are done, on the CBE platforms. So this is our timetable. This might be worth your while if someone wants to take a picture of this. This is the timetable for the diets. Like I said earlier on, so if you look at this, you would see the timetable. So for the March 2022 exams, the intensive covers these 5 papers, the strategic professional papers. On Saturdays, 8 to 12 SBR, which we just completed now, and then by 1 o'clock we'll be starting the AFM. Tomorrow on Sunday we'll start SBL, and in the afternoon we'll run AAA and APM simultaneously, depending on your preference. Standard lectures in June covers the following papers: SBR, PM, MA, the Diploma in IFRS on Saturday morning. AFM, FM, FA, and ATX is covered on Saturday afternoon. On Sunday morning is SBL. Please note SBL has a timing of 8 a.m. That's a 6 hours class, while we have FR, APM, and BT as well during the same timing. And then on Sunday afternoon, we have advanced audit and assurance, tax, audit and assurance, and corporate and business law. These are our timetable for our weekday lectures as well, which will commence on January 31st. These are the course leaders for the papers in the school and their contact address. If you want to also have this, take a picture of this, you can feel free to do that. I can also say to you that they will also be part of your WhatsApp group, and you can have direct access to them as well too. Okay. All right. So that's been it. We're going to take an update from the school manager, and then we'll just have Q&A and we wrap up for today. So just to confirm, is the general manager operations of the school? Are you on the call?
Yes, I'm on the call. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, sir. We can hear you, sir. Well done. And over to you.
Thank you very much. I welcome everybody, and we appreciate you for being part of our open day. I pray together we'll walk through this ACCA journey, and then we come out and share testimonies like our keynote speakers have shared their own testimonies. Okay. Here at Ivyleague is one thing that I believe has been omitted is the fact that Ivyleague is not just a learning environment. Ivyleague is like a family, and that's why everybody that comes in all are successful, because the tutors, the admin, the faculty, we take you in as a family, and we care so much about your progress. Yeah, joining Ivyleague is easy if you've made up your mind to join us, and I want to believe you'll make up your mind to join us. Like we said to our second keynote speaker, if you come to Ivyleague, you'll definitely pass. So registration and payments. Payments are done online. We don't accept physical cash. We are going to share account details. The timetable that was shared earlier as the account details for payment and registration. Once payment is made and proof of payment is sent to the admin team, what the admin team will do in turn is to send you a registration link where you register online, fill in the information, then the admin download from the back end, set you up on a learning environment where you have a dedicated personalized email address where all your learning correspondence will be dropping, setting up of class, should there be meetings, an assignment that has been set and everything, where those documents and emails will be dropping in that email. So we encourage that you make yourself familiar with the email, and also always bear in mind that information is dropped in that email from time to time. Between your payments and setting up, it will take between 24 to 48 hours so that we can set you up properly on a learning environment where you can access your classrooms, access your learning resources, and other things that are needed for you to complete your program. So once we set you up, if you don't have the classroom environment on your system, whether you are using a phone or you're using your laptop, you can easily download Microsoft Teams. That's the platform that we use. Once you download it, sign in with the Ivyleague credentials that will be sent to you. Now, normally it's going to be your first name dot last name at Ivyleague Nigeria. You may be seeing some codes in front of your name. Those codes actually represent the class you've paid for. Once that is done, you receive your class meeting link or the class link via your email or directly in your team. And then click on it, join your class, and then we take it from there. That's that about the payments and setting up. So that's that about payment and setting up. So we have a complaint and feedback policy. This complaint and feedback policy can actually be accessed to digest properly on our website, www.ivyleaguenigeria.com. But I can just lay you into our complaint procedure. Yeah, like the moderator said, we have an informal way of complaining and a formal complaining method. Our informal model of complaining is walking up to a tutor, walking up to admin, passing your feedbacks to them, or you can actually do it via phone call directly to the admin team. We're going to share the complaint lines in the course of this conversation. It's going to be shared. You can complain to the admin teams if you are not getting desired response from the admin team. You need to escalate. You can actually escalate to the higher line that we provide on our feedback slide. So that's that. Within the diet, we also take standard feedbacks, which we take 3 feedbacks within the diet. The first weeks of the diet, we want to take your feedback. This feedback helps us to correct whatever things or to implement whatever suggestion that you've seen before the end of the diet. Knowing fully well that it's more important for us to implement feedbacks before the diet is over. So we do another feedback to check on the first feedback and to see if there's additional observations from the students. And when we do feedback to cover mode of lectures, tutors, and the general school administration. Then that second feedback is done at the 12th week. That is when we are back going into our revision. So the 13th week, we are back going into our revision. Then we'll do a final one at the revision period. So we appreciate if you always help us to give these feedbacks. We don't expect our feedback to be all the time positive. So those negative feedbacks are even more important to us as a school. I also want to talk about course deferral and refund. Yes, there's high possibility after paying for a course and then for one reason or the other, a student could not continue with that classes. It could be work taking you out of, taking your time, relocation, or anything whatsoever can be a reason why a student may not want to continue the lecture. So if a student have not attended more than 3 classes, that student is eligible. It's actually eligible for either deferral or a refund. But once a student has attended more than 3 classes, that student is no more eligible for deferral or a refund. So that's about course deferral and refund. So I want to take us to
fantastic
social media pages. So you can reach us on our social media. You can reach us on via email. That's one. info@Ivyleague Nigeria. You can also reach us on our websites. Our website is www.ivyleaguenigeria.com. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. We are on Twitter. Even though we know that for now Twitter is banned in Nigeria. So we are on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. For Facebook and LinkedIn, our handle or our name is Ivyleague Associate. Ivy space League space Associate. And on Instagram, you can find us at Ivyleague Associates. Ivyleague Associates. That's contacts. So I believe we are going to display our complaint and feedback slide so they can pick the contacts from this complaint and feedbacks. Basically, that is that from the admin desk. The admin is open to serve you. Our phones are available 24 hours, but admin is available at least 12 to 6 to 14 hours of the day. However, you can always drop your queries on our website, on our WhatsApp line. Once very early the next morning, we'll respond to you. We want to work with you throughout this journey, and then we wish you the very best. Thank you very much. I pass the microphone back to you, Joe. Thank you.
Okay,
please, I have a
well
question,
done.
Please.
Yeah, please hold on. We actually want to quickly unpack and just get to the Q&A. Except you feel you urgently want to ask the question. In the next 5 minutes, we'll move into Q&A. So are you fine to wait for us 5 minutes time? Let's just take
I'll wait here.
the student story. All right. Okay, so one of the things we also like to do is also to share the experiences of our current and also our past students. Share testimonies of what the experience looks like in studying for ACCA qualifications with Ivy League. We have two of our students, one who is currently at the strategic professional level, and one who also went through the applied knowledge level and is currently at the applied skill level. So in no particular order, I'm going to call them up. So the first person I want to call up is Bolowa Tife. Just a confirmation if Bolowa Tife is on the line.
Yeah, good morning, Jojo. I'm on the line. Can you hear me?
All right. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. So you might want to just use a minute or two to just share your experience with us.
Okay, yes. So good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy New Year. So just right into it. Yeah, I joined Ivy League, I think in 2019. But because of the pandemic, I was not able to take the paper. Like, I was just being lazy. But over the years, like last year and this year, I took my applied knowledge last year and I passed the two, like, well. Then I wrote my PM exam in December. And one thing I can say is Ivy League is like the best like tuition center. Like, I'm not even kidding. It's not to hype them, it's not to say that, oh, because I'm attending the lessons, because I've seen my friends who are in other lessons, they are not exposed to the knowledge that I'm exposed to here in Ivy League. And one thing I know with Ivy League tutors is that they are not doing and they're not teaching or lecturing us because, like, you know that this one is not because of money. They're actually doing it from the bottom of their heart. They really want you to pass. And most times it's not as if you just have like a syllabus. They actually like do revision questions and likely questions that will come out. Like my PM exams, like most of what came out, we've already treated it in class. So it's just like a really, really big opportunity to start your lessons at Ivy League. It will really help you. It will really help you and to fast track your ACCA journey. And you don't have to spend the number of time that people who are not attending lessons are using, because they were already debriefed it in class. They will explain it to you. Like, you know that your 4 hours that you're doing maybe every weekend or 8 hours, as the case may be, you know that it is worth it. So that's the only thing I have to say. Ivy League is a very, very, very good school. I mean, I'm a testimony, and I'm still a testimony because they will continue to be my tuition provider till professional level. So it's a really, really good school. So you guys should enroll and you come back to thank Ivy League later. Yeah, thank you. I think that's all.
All right. Well done, Buluatfe. Well done for that. And many thanks for that. The next person I want to call up is also writing in the strategic professional level, also went through the entirety of her applied skill and applied knowledge with us as well too. And that is Vivian Moye. Just to confirm, Vivian, are you on the call with us? All right. Yeah, please go on.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I actually started my ACCA journey in 2018, and it's been a roller coaster from start to where I am currently. But I believe it has been important. But I don't want to repeat what other speakers have said, so I will just try to highlight what they've not said. I want to mention that as much as you have all the resources available to you, how you use them and how you apply yourself is totally on you. So we have WhatsApp groups. I've been in groups where nobody says anything. Only 2 people reply the tutors when they talk. Only 2 people post questions. And those 2 people decide to engage the group up until exam day. I mean, it's just those 2 people that decide to be engaging in the WhatsApp group. I've also been in groups where every single person is engaging, the full 24 members. So how you apply yourself and how you use the resources that are available to you is totally on you. So there's that you factor, right? One of the speakers mentioned that you should give yourself a chance. I think that's very, very key. And then that's also what the community helps you to do. Sometimes you just let your worries on the group. Oh my God, I've not read work, I've not been in class for the past 4 classes. I wasn't in the division, I didn't do more, and next tomorrow's exam. Those few words of encouragement from your peers, trust me, will go a long way to boost your confidence. And you just honestly need to give yourself that chance that I can actually kill this thing. Because the truth is the students believe in us even more than we believe in ourselves. Maybe because they are looking at it from the end point and we are at the starting point. I also want to mention that I think sometime in 2018 or 2019, maybe late 2019, when I knew that I was going to change jobs and relocate as a result of what I was going to start to do. And I kept asking that, is there no option for an online and all of that? And I remember they were going to that year. Well, kudos to Ivyleague. Now I take my classes from wherever I am. Trust me, I don't need to come in face to face. And then the online thing just gives you that quote unquote professional edge, because this is what we do in the workplace currently. As a result of COVID, businesses is not shut down, they continued, and there was all that virtual offering that businesses had to start offering. So that also helps as well. And when the tutors say practice, 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 to be honest, it can never ever take away that 5 minutes of confidence it gives you in the exam hall when you click on start. I mean, you look at the screen and this is what you have seen time and time over and over because you have been practicing. So that initial inertia fear that makes you pause and waste precious 5 minutes asking God, oh my God, have I failed this? Have I not failed this? That 5 minutes of indecision is totally eliminated when you practice. So I think Ivyleague is totally one of the very best. It's the best for me, honestly.
All right. Many thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Many thanks, Buluatife and Vivian Moye, for your experience sharing with us, and we are definitely proud, not just hearing what you're saying, but also proud of the performance we've seen from the both of you in your past exams. And we're very confident, that as we even expect the results come next week, that we know you would also continue to keep the flag flying. So many thanks for that. I think this is this point where we then move into the open floor session, Q&A. So pretty much any question you want to ask, whether it's related to any of the session we've had so far since today, or anything you always wanted to ask about ACCA, I think this is the open floor session. So we are happy, and we've got a lot of our faculty members on the call. We also still have some representatives as well from ACCA, who's also on the call as well too, or who are as well on the call. We're happy to take your questions. So the floor is officially open for any sort of question around what we've covered today and ACCA as a whole. All right, so the floor is yours. So just signify by raising your hand, and we'll be happy to take the questions. So who do I see? Whose hand is up? Okay, so I've got Dami, I've got Vivian, I've got Chinedu Mije, and I've got Julian. So let's start with Dami or Dami. So let's go on with Dami. Dami, go on. Okay, seems we have an issue there. Okay, Vivian, let's go next. Oh, can you hear me? I've asked that.
Yes, Jonathan, we can hear you. I think, Dami, in case you are talking, you are still on mute, so you may have to unmute your mic to talk.
Okay, let's hear from
Okay.
Bisola. Bisola.
Looks. No. Joe, hold on a second, please. There's a queue. So Chinedu Mije. Chinedu, go ahead.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hi, my name is Miji. Thank you for this open day. It has been really enlightening. I actually just registered last year, I think in November, and I saw an email. I've been trying to follow the emails that they send from ACCA, but I really do not understand. That's why I thought getting a tutor would be helpful. So I just want to know, nobody mentioned the prices and when you pay and what is the next step after you get registered, because I don't know what to do next. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Chinedu. And I think that's also related to the question earlier asked, I think by Tomori on exemptions. So manager, I don't know, could you, sorry, Bisola, could you hold on, please? I will let you know when it's time. I will be muting you now, okay? I'll call your name once it's time. So manager, please, can you help us with the end-to-end process? So to register with ACCA and then down to taking your exam in quick, sharp summary, please.
All right. To register with ACCA, once you have the required documents, you've met the requirements, you can reach us. I'll drop our phone number on this chat room so that you can reach us directly. Once registration is done, every other payment to ACCA is done on ACCA on your student portal. The student portal is created for you, where you pay your subscription annually. As it is now, the current rate of subscription is 116,000 naira. What you pay for exams is a function of the level you are and the paper you are writing. So I can tell you the on-demand exam is charged in naira. The skill level exam, early entry is 116, standard entry is 123 pounds. I'm very sure you don't want to pay late entry, which is about 300 pounds. For skill level, for professional level papers, early entry is 147, standard entry is 153 pounds, and then late entry is well above 300 pounds. I'm sure no Nigerian is willing to pay that. Then for strategic business leader, that has a different charges for exam is 208 for early entry, 223 for standard entry, and then 385 for late entry. Those are the things what you pay for your exams. Once your registration is concluded, proceed, give us a call, because the next thing is for you to prepare for your examinations. Standard entry exams is going to, for this diet, this year is going to end by April, late April. The early entry is ending this month. So if you are not paying this month, you'll be paying the standard entry. As I said earlier, I'll drop our number, our email address, and our phone number. You can reach out to us to further go deep in this explanation. Thank you very much. Back to you, sir.
All right. Okay, thanks, manager. So bottom line, once you've registered, check that your portal has been created, and then pretty much any other payment you need to make, subscription or for exam fee, will be done through that. And if you need more details, please reach out to manager and his team, and they're happy to help. Vivian, your hand is up.
Yeah, Shay, I wanted to know, so what other options are available to complete PER if you're not working in a finance
If you're not working in a finance role, I think we lost you somewhere in the middle. All right, so if your question is what other options are available if you're not working in a finance role, I think the first thing is that you don't have to actually work in a finance role to earn all the performance objectives, that are identified. So some performance objectives are clearly related to a finance role. Whether it's compiling financial statements, interpreting finance data, preparing management accounts and all those things, while some are not related to that. So even if you are handling customer relationships, there are performance objectives that you can sign off related to that. So what you need to do is to identify the 9 performance objectives that align with your current role. Okay. Now, if you are not able to see up to 9 performance objectives that align with your current role, then you would have to start thinking about getting a new role within the same organization or a new job that will give you the experience you need to get the sign off. Okay. So as I said, the essential performance objectives are largely generic. Okay, things like leadership. You don't have to be in finance or in consulting to prove that you have, leadership skills. So, but the optional ones are a bit more specific into certain roles. So if it's not a role that fits exactly what you currently do, if it's not a PO that fits exactly what you currently do, then that's when you will need to start having a rethink, in that area.
Shay?
All right. Yes,
Shay?
go ahead.
Okay, this is Jonathan. Let me also just add that your finance experience doesn't also have to be on a full-time employment basis. What I mean is you can also take up some finance roles in maybe with your church or in a club. So it doesn't have to be a full-time employment, experience. That's just the point I wanted to add.
Yeah. As long as you can get someone to sign off for you. All right, Julian, go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Shay. So I have like 3 questions. The first one is that if I'm to register for ACCA with my ACA, am I to pick 2? So I have the options to pick 2 out of, that's if I want to opt for the BSc option. Am I to pick 2 out of the 3 options? That's FRAA and FM. That's my first question. So the second question is, so assuming I come in with my ACA still and I move to the professional level, after completion of the professional level, can I come back or in between the professional papers, can I come back to take like the BSc2 papers that I should have initially taken, considering that I would have paid exemptions for everything and moved to the professional level? So can I come back and take those 2 papers to enable me apply for the BSc? And then my last question is for Ivyleague. So I can see that we have, so I don't know if we have different streams of classes whereby the timetable for some of the papers I would like to take also on Sunday, which I'm not going to be available. So is there a different stream where those papers are taken on Saturday? So those are my questions.
All right, thanks, Julian. I will answer them because of our time. And if I miss out anything, please, guys, feel free to jump in. So regarding OBU, I think first and second question are pretty much related. You should indicate interest in taking the BSc at the time you are registering with ACCA. And if you are registering with your ICANN certificate, most likely you will be exempted from all the skill level papers. So you would have to tell them you are interested in OBU, and as such, you will have to write those 3 papers at the skill level, the final 3 papers. That's financial reporting, financial management, audit and assurance. So it's 3 papers, not 2, and they are not optional, okay? So once you've written those papers, then obviously you can progress to the professional level, and then you can claim your, you can write your project afterwards. You cannot start the professional level without, you know, after getting exemptions from those 3 papers, and then later now say, I want to come back and do those things. And you would also not be able to do professional level without taking those papers if you forfeit the exemptions, okay? All right, on this, the third question, yes, we have different streams. For example, we have face-to-face lectures, we have online lectures, and even for some papers, we have intensive classes as well. But they are largely on the same day, okay? So, for example, AFM takes place on Saturdays, both the face-to-face and the online, and the intensive, okay? APM takes place on Sundays, and everything is on Sunday for APM. So that's how the timetable is structured. All right. Tony, go ahead, please.
Good morning. Yeah, it's been a very impactful session. I've been here since 10, actually, and I've not felt like leaving this place. Like it's like all I've been waiting to hear.
Thank you.
So it's a good one, yes.
Thank you.
So I have a question. I just got my exemptions. I have ACA, right? So I want to take just the 4 papers for that level. I don't know what it's called now, but the last one, right? And I was actually going to ask if it was possible for me to if you think I could take 2 papers, that's probably SBL and maybe AP, whatever it is, that performance management one, and you think I could still write it by March. That was what I wanted to do. So I wanted to do 2 papers by March and then do 2 papers by June. And that will be done. That was what I planned. However, I haven't listened to what has been going on all day. I really just don't want to chase what I don't know if I can make. So I wanted to know if you thought it was possible for me to do that for March and then do the other one for June, or what would you think would be a best approach? I just got my exemptions in December.
Okay, thank you, Tony. To be honest, anything is possible, right? So that one is like a fact that is known. However, in the midst of searching for possibilities, we also have to be realistic, okay? So I will personally not advise that you work with the model that you are considering, which is, you know, taking those 2 papers now, since you have not been self-studying, taking those 2 papers in March and then another 2 in June. Since you have not been self-studying or you've not written those papers before, to take them for an intensive class is really, really tough. It's not the ideal thing an intensive class is for, because an intensive class is not a class where we go into the nitty-gritty of the topics. It's more of overview of the topics and then question practice, because it's more of a revision kind of course. To give you guys, because your question is actually related to something I said I was going to talk about. So to give you guys a little bit of understanding of the duration. So the standard lectures is for 13 weeks. On top of that, you then have 6 weeks of revision. So that's 19 weeks, you know, for those preparing for June. But intensive is just 8 weeks, okay? So you have more than ×2 of that for June. So the teaching methodology definitely cannot be the same. However, should you believe that, oh, I can do it, it's possible, then you have to be ready to do a lot of self-studying, moving ahead of the class, you know, being on top of the lecture plan and all of that for that period. Another model you can consider is to take the 4 in June. Obviously, whether you take the 2 now and then 2 in June, or you take the 4 in June, it's going to involve a lot of hard work. But at least if you take the 4 in June, if you have to finish by June, then you can take full lectures, full revision for everything since you're a first timer, even though you're chartered. That seems to help you more for your exam. The other option you can consider is take 2 or 3 in June, and then, or take everything for June, but then when it's time to register for the exam in April, May, you can then decide, okay, I think I want to move 1 or 2 to September while I do what I think I can be ready for now based on the circumstances at that time in June. Okay, I hope that answers your question. Bisola, go ahead, please.
Hello, everyone.
Bisola, you need to unmute. Okay, hi.
Yes,
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So my question basically is, I'm a beginner. Like I studied in business administration, so I don't really have much knowledge on finance. But then I would love to start my ACCA journey. So I would like to know I've been hearing a lot of things, so I would like you to confirm my exemptions and the exams I can take in June, because I was told I could do 3 in June, that is MAFA, and also start and also choose one, which is I think CBL from the skilled level. I can do those 3 in June. So I would like you to expatiate on that for me.
All right, thank you, Bisola. Manager, please, as quickly as possible. Manager, are you there?
Okay, thank you, sir. Maybe you just have to rephrase for me. I was on a call with a prospective student while the question was being asked.
BSc Biz Admin, what exemption do I get? And yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so BSc Biz Admin, you have one exemption, which is business and technology. You'll be starting from the knowledge level, or you are required to write 2 papers at the knowledge level, and you not write the third one, which is business and technology.
Okay, so Bisola, yes, you will be exempted from BT, and you write FA, MA, and then move to the skills level, which is where you have corporate and business law. You should note that those 2 papers, FA and MA, and even law, they are available on demand. So that means you'll be writing them at Ivyleague if you are based in Lagos, because we are a licensed CBE exams provider. But any other paper after those 3 are session-based, so they will be written at ACCA designated exam centers. And please remember, all ACCA exams are computer-based. Yeah, I think that's the answer to your question. Thank you.
Sorry, I still hello, can you hear me?
Okay, please just ask all your questions. Ask all your questions, okay?
Okay, sorry. So are you saying I can prepare for the 3 exams for June?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You can prepare for the 3. So just start standard lectures, and then towards June or end of May, you can then register for the exams.
So what is the tuition fee for the exams, those 3 exams?
Okay, manager will be happy to help you. So please reach out to him after the open day. Okay. His number is in the chat area, chat box.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Ajoke, go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm happy
Good
to be here. My question is centered around the lectures. I wanted to find out if I register, do I have access to the online and physical classes? Like, can I come in for classes, and maybe when I'm not in town, I can, attend online? Or is it just strictly online and strictly face-to-face? That's my first question. Then my second question is the intensive classes for skills, the skills level. Are they the same timetable as the standard? Because I didn't see that on the slide that was shown, or I only saw for the professional.
All right, thank you, Ajoke. So first question, no. Once you are taking a paper face-to-face, then it's face-to-face. If you're taking a paper online, then it's online.
Okay.
So you don't have that ability to transition weekend on weekend, depending on the one you prefer.
Okay. Okay.
However, if there is a fundamental change in your circumstance, so for example, maybe you are based in Lagos and your employer decides to move you to London, then you can talk to the admin team and they'll be happy to help move you to online classes. Regarding your second question, which is intensive for skill papers.
Yes.
Okay, so at this point, we are not offering intensive for skill paper as a school, individual school, and that's because we are doing it in partnership with ACCA, okay? So you would have to reach out to ACCA to register for that, and I believe it's starting next weekend, or you can reach out to Jonathan or reach out to manager, and they'll be happy to link you up with the guy at ACCA who will provide you with the details and the timetable, okay? So if you were around when Tom was talking earlier on, yeah, it's one of those things we are working together with ACCA to deliver directly.
Okay.
All right.
I actually got it.
Yeah.
It's in Nigeria, but I was a bit confused. I wasn't sure if it was a standalone arrangement or it was in conjunction with Ivyleague. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in conjunction with Ivyleague. And some of our tutors, will be delivering lectures via that platform. All right, thank you. Priscilla, go ahead, please.
Good afternoon. So I have a BSc in accounting. I finished school in November 2021, and I've been told I would get exemptions for 4 papers: BT, MA, FA, and CBL. So now they said in skills level I'm left with 5 papers, and I was told that I can't start exams in March. Like, we have 4 diets in a year. That is in March, June, September, and December, right? So they said I shouldn't start in March, I should wait till June. And I'm going to write papers in June because I feel I can't write like 4 or something. So I want to ask, like, is it that I can't write exams in September, like it's going to be in June and December, or I can write in June, September, and December? Thank you.
You can write in June, September, and December, and then March next year if you still have papers by next year, okay?
Oh, all
Thank
right.
you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah. Azuka Makinde, go ahead, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon and Happy New Year, everyone. I really appreciate Ivyleague. My question is on registering for on time, right? So I like what is doing well, registering for my diets quite on time, but I have 2 experiences which was not palatable. So I needed a guide so that I can be able to use the good opportunities given to us. When I register, I pay on time and my account was credited, and I tried to register online to partake in the early registration. It will not complete it because venue is not available, right? So, and I keep checking on the venue. Eventually, when it is available, the one close to me is never available. That is Ikoyi. I stay in Lekki Phase 1. I've had 2 not palatable experience going to mainland, fatal accidents, I ended up getting to the exam hall very late. Of course, I failed the paper and all that, and a lot of costs going to put my car in order. And I've had such experience again. So I wanted to know, how do I really go about maximizing that early registration? I will never complete it online because either the venue is not available or something. So I need a guide on that. And in particular, that Ikoyi, I have never seen it available. Eventually, when I see it available, it's already filled up. Every day I wake up, I check it. So I don't know. So I need help.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Happy New Year. It's good to hear your voice again. I don't know whether Victor is around, if he can take that question. If not, then anybody in my team, the issue of exam registration, because actually exam center availability is not influenced or determined by Ivyleague. So it's quite difficult to answer that question. And I'm not sure that registering early, perhaps, I'm not sure that when you are registering for exam, you are able to choose the specific center, you know, where you want to write your exam. I'm not sure that option is available. Maybe state or country may be available, but the particular center, I don't think that's available. So I don't know whether early registration really helps you choose a particular center in that regard.
So I don't know if I can
Go
respond
ahead.
to you. Okay, Madam Azuka, how are you today? It's good to hear your voice. Okay, I think what you should do is to either reach out to us or you reach out to ACCA. I know in the last two examinations, ACCA has assisted students in registering for their exams. So if you're having such challenge, it's not peculiar to you. A lot of students have that challenge. Reach out to the admin. It's part of our own CSR to ensure that you are registered on time and you get a choice. And now it is possible for you to choose your center. Now, once you get to the to that point, your address will come out and it will automatically suggest centers very close to your location, to your address to you. If you want it outside your address, then you can go for that to choose. So it's now possible to reach out to us, Madam Azuka, or you talk to ACCA directly.
Okay, I will.
All right.
Thank you.
That's why I love you, manager. Thank you. I didn't know that option is now available. Jonathan, could you do me a favor, please? Can you help me type manager's phone number and email on the screen so that if anybody needs it, they can as well pick it from there. I think Victor's hand is up. I don't know if he wants to say something about that. Victor, do you want to say something? Okay, looks like we can't hear Victor. So I'll go to the next person. I'm going to have to do a hard close with Ali. Ali will be my last question because of our time. Dami, go ahead, please.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the insightful session so far. Please, I just want to know, because I was listening and I saw that you talked about Oxford Brookes University BSc in Applied Accounting. I also want to just find out if there is provision for maybe MSc or Masters after or MBE, I mean, after completion of the qualification. If you could please address that.
Yes, there's provision for everything. The only thing that there's no provision for is PhD. So there's provision for Masters in Professional Accountancy from University of London. When I spoke earlier, I also said because of the respect the ACCA qualification has gathered across the world, there are several universities, particularly in the UK, that also gives you exemptions from some modules. If you want to take a master's in finance, you know, or accounting and finance, for example, then you can also look at Oxford Brookes University. They also have an MBA program that that also recognizes the ACCA qualification. Okay. Yes, Benga.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the session so far. So just my question is just on the online class. For the online class now, let's say maybe due to one or two reasons in a day, you are unable to attend the class. Is there any provision for maybe for you to, maybe the session for that class for that day has been recorded? Is there any provision for making the recorded session available for those who are unable to attend the class? Then the second
The
one
straight
is on
answer to that is
deferral.
yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. Then on deferral, I had him talk on the deferral that you can pay, then you can defer your payment to the next diet. Okay, is it that, okay, you are paying for the whole 4 papers now, then maybe due to some reasons you want to defer to, is that possible? Or you just have to defer the whole paper to the next diet? Thank you.
Recorded lectures are available. Admin will help you to get access to it if you need it. But remember that the best thing is to attend live classes. I think even students themselves get tired of listening to a recorded class, and so you will prefer the experience of a live class. Regarding your second question, I will ask manager to answer that. Deferral.
Okay, sir. You can only, because of our pricing system, we don't charge standard lectures a flat rate. For example, one paper at professional level is 40,000, 2 papers is 55. So if you register for 4 papers and you need to defer 2 papers, for example, what we do is to charge the 2 papers you are taking, which is 65,000 naira, then defer whatever is left to next diet for you. So for example, you've paid 100,000 naira for 4 papers and you are deferring 2. We'll take 65,000 naira and defer 35,000 naira to next diet. So if you had to come back next diet and you want to take 2 papers, you need to do additional top up to meet what we charge for 2 papers for the diet you are taking. We don't defer the papers, we defer the differentials. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Ayolu, go ahead, please.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, my question is simple. Thank you for the enlightenment today. My question is that as an ICANN qualified accountant and planning to register to do my CCA professional level, I've been on it and then I've been reading up since November. But one thing has been stopping me from going, and that's the price of the exemption. So, and along the line, I got to know that there's a discount available to Nigerians for exemption. So I don't know when that discount will be available so I can go ahead and pay and register and be prepared for exam. So that's the question. Thank you.
Okay, would have been better to ask that question when ACCA was here. Manager, do you want to? Okay.
Okay, so the promo happens every January. In a matter of days now, ACCA will be rolling out those promo, but it's only available for those that have not registered. It is those who register within the period of that promo that can enjoy it. So if you have not registered, in the next few days, ACCA will roll out that promo. Just reach out to us, we'll guide you through and we assist you in getting it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks. Ali?
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, Shay.
Good afternoon.
So, what I wanted to ask was for the manager's phone number because we did not have access to the chat box, but I can see it's plastered on the screen now. So I have that. So I just want to say thank you for this insightful program. It's been really insightful.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you very
congratulations
much.
on your appointment to the council.
Oh yeah, thanks, Ali. Thank you. Benjamin, you're the final person, so go ahead, please.
Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay. So I just wanted to ask. It's been long. I'd already been registered for ACCA for a long time. So I quit because of some financial constraints. So I did my master's and I got exemptions and the remaining ACCA papers. So I was just wondering. I had two questions. One, that particular girl asked, a particular lady asked earlier on. She said, if it's since I've already gotten the exemptions, can I still go back and write the papers to get the BSc from Oxford Brookes University, which you said no. But I was asking, is there any other possible way for me to like probably contact ECCA directly or and request for that? Then secondly, regarding the lectures, because me, I don't reside in Nigeria at the moment, so I will want the lectures to be purely online. So is there any way for the lectures to be interactive while being online, or it's just going to be strictly an online lecture that's pre-recorded? Thank you.
Oh, okay. Number one, we don't even sell pre-recorded lectures. Our lectures are live, online, interactive classes. What the other
sorry, I
person
did
was
not say
asking
you
then
sell.
is,
I didn't say you sell you sell the lectures. I was just asking if the lectures are going to be pre-recorded. Like, is it going to be pre-recorded, or is it going to be like an interactive lectures where anybody can be free to ask questions relating to anything they want to they want to ask?
Yeah,
Okay.
Ben, so that's what I just said. It's a live class, so it's interactive. It's just the way you're listening to me now. I'm viewing the screen, okay? So you can ask questions, a typical live meeting, okay? But those sessions are recorded just in case someone wants to hear the lectures again, or you missed the class and you want to listen to the recorded one. But normal classes are live interactive classes, okay? Regarding your first question on OBU, so are you done with your skills papers?
So okay, let me just give a brief background for myself. So I was doing the ACCA while I was in Nigeria, and I did the applied skills, and I did paper F4, paper F7, then paper F9. Then due to some financial constraints, I had to put a pause on it. Then had to come over abroad to do like my master's in accountancy. So I got like an exemptions based on the remaining papers I was going to do in ACCA, which was paper F5, paper F6, and auditing and assurance, because I did the master's. Because I did the master's. So technically, what I wanted to do was to get the BSc from applied. I am from Oxford Brookes, OBU. I'd already signed. I'd already paid for the exemption fees technically. So I was just wondering if I was going to be able to go back to. And it's been a long time. It's been like 2 years I did that. So I was wondering if I can still go back to write those papers I missed.
Okay, I don't think so. I mean, I would allow manager or to talk to that.
Okay. Hi, Shay. So,
hi, Tutu. Okay, thanks.
Yes. Okay. So yes, you can still get your exemptions, and like you can forfeit your exemptions. You could just write, just so anytime we're unclear and something seems a bit ambiguous, it's just okay to write acca@brooks.ac.uk. That's the official email address just, detail what you just explained to us, explain your scenario, and then they will tell you if you're still eligible. So, but if I would just answer your question quickly, I feel you just have to forfeit the exemptions and then maybe have to write the papers again. So yeah, but just to be clear, send an email to acca@brooks.ac.uk. Just detail everything and then they will give you clarification. You could just reach out to the admin team if you need further clarification as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah, Tutu, thanks. But he actually said he has written and passed financial management. So can he forfeit it again?
Yes. So he said he wrote past and then
I wrote
some of the papers and then got an exemption.
No, I passed financial reporting, financial management. I did not do the auditing. I did not do performance management. I did not do taxation.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yes.
All right. That's fine.
Yeah.
All right. Looks like we're done with the questions. Jonathan, over to you.
Okay. So thank you so much, everyone. Please, can you confirm that I'm audible?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. It's been so nice having everyone on the call today. We appreciate that you decided to stay through on the call till this time. We're so grateful for, the questions you even took time to ask. We say thank you again to all the the people that helped, in facilitating today's session. Thank you for sharing your insightful experience. Thank you for everything, that made today a success. And to you that you stayed on the call to this time, we say a very big thank you to you. We look forward to, having you on board and welcoming you to our school. As everyone has shared, we don't need to repeat this again. It's a school that as soon as you join us, your success is guaranteed. So yes, we are looking forward to having you contact of the admin, and we are looking forward to having a very good next round of 3 and then 4 months with you. Thank you so much for your time, and should you still have questions that we were not able to cover at this time, please feel free to reach out to Olumide, the admin manager, and any of our faculty members. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a beautiful 2022. Thank you.
Thank you, my VC. Thank you.
Thank you.